right? I've been to this Galiyan, you know that, streets of ORN, right, for the more than 20 years. Shubhra, Ranjan ma'am and myself all have been working as a colleague in one of the institute nearby, right? And I taught with all such names which you come across here, right? But today I have left all these corporate coaching institutes only for a simple reason that the quality of the teaching and the content and a teacher like me doesn't go for the money, right? And I am a pan-India faculty. And I today, feel very confident that I am the only faculty who fly all parts of the country to teach, students from every area of this country. Whether you talk about Srinagar or you talk about Trivandrum, right? Hyderabad, Bangalore, or you take any state, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, everywhere. So that's why now people call me as a flying faculty, right? I don't want to remain stuck up with the corporate kind of, mentality just for earning crores and crores of rupees. I get a lot of offers, but I don't accept them. So the purpose of this module is that the real purpose of the exam, right, the UPSC exam, is what it requires for this subject. That should be done. And with the support of Shubhra Ranjan ma'am, this module which I am doing here, I know that there's not a crowd, not a problem. I don't want 1,000 people sitting in the classroom. I'm less concerned about it. I want those who are really sincere and deserving candidate who can, crack the exam. They are the real students. And a teacher like me enjoy teaching those students rather than, kind of full of kind of thing there, right? So be comfortable. Today is the first class and it's getting live also there. That's what I first drop my message so that the live people can understand what type of teacher and what type of classroom is there, right? I have written book in environment. I have my own book. Even those popular books are there in the market. Before that, my book of Environment Ecology from GKP Publications there. Science and Technology, another subject which I teach, right? SNT book you will find. And recently from Pearson Publication, I have written 3 books in geography. Geography of India, then World Geography and Human Economic Geography. So every year at least I write one book, right? Because you know that as a human being, if you look at it as a human being, you have a particular span of life, right? And once you go to up, right, something legacy should be kept behind. So one day when I will not be teaching, my books will be my legacy. Somebody called Nachiketa was a person who used to teach there. So that's what every year I get at least to write one book, and that has to be there. See, as a teacher, should not be a kind of just a classroom teaching, right? It should contribute back to the society, to a larger audience. Hey, you all have come to the class, right, with a purpose, and like you, there are millions of the people. Since I go everywhere in the country, I see the students like you and their need. So that's what my purpose of writing books is. That only one reason is that to let the knowledge flow to the people who are in the need of that. Students like aspirants like you, right? So welcome to the classroom here, and I'm very glad that I'm there to teach all of you. So you know that being the first class, I would just give an overview, and then we will start with the subject, because we have till 18th of October. But again, don't worry. See, I have told that if there is a need of the extra class, there's not an issue on that, right? The quality of the content should not be compromised. That's what I believe, right? The syllabus should be covered. Prelims and mains exam, the syllabus has to be covered. And what is the requirement of the exam? The exam is very dynamic. It's not a static. The exam requires input from current affairs, right? A lot of things comes in environment. So I'll just come into that one. If you look at this is the bar graph, right? Just a trend which you all know that. Approximately you will find 15 to 18 questions. Now see, when you say environment, what I would like to bring here, when you come to the subject of environment, see, one thing is that which is defined in the syllabus. Its syllabus part is defined. See what all things you have to do. Like I'll just divide into 5 components. If you look at prelims cum mains exam, PCM, So we can divide into 5 better. One is that, ecology concept. This is a very static part, very static. Ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? Flow of energy, functions, like, food chain, food web, pyramid, right? Nutrient cycle, like carbon cycle, water cycle. These are the static part, right? These are the static part. If you look at the present pattern of the exam, if you look at last 5 years, hardly you will come across question. Yes, sometimes basic concept can be linked with some applied area. Some applied area. Like, just give you an example. Just take one example here. I'll come back to this one, but let's look at this one. 2025 prelims exam. See, there may not be a direct question on food chain, food web, right? Will not be a direct question on autotrophs, heterotrophs, and all those kind of biological terms. Maybe applied nature. Like, for example, if you look at this, rainforest produce more oxygen than the produced by oceans. What is here? The key word, rainforest. When you talk about rainforest, tropical rainforest, you all know the Amazon. But from environment subject, we come across Western Ghats, right? Western Ghats of our country. Not only Western Ghats of our country, if you go to Northeast India, Meghalaya, right? Meghalaya, then even part of Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, right? Even Andaman Nicobar Islands, we have a tropical evergreen forest, right? Rainforest is there. So the term when you come to rainforest, how the ecology concept comes? Biome. What is the term here? Biome. Right? Desert biome, forest biome, grassland biome. So it is not necessary that you have a word biome written there. Ocean biome, what is called something called marine biome, right? And you can see here, produce more oxygen than produced by ocean. It is giving a comparison, which produce more oxygen. So if anybody knows basic ecology, photosynthesis, right from childhood, in the school days, you have been studying photosynthesis, that green plants, grasses, trees, but even, water bodies, algae or algae, right, green color algae. Sometimes you will come across phytoplanktons. I have kept the photograph. The microscopic organism called phytoplanktons. Let's say, for example, diatoms, dinoflagellate, right? These are microscopic, but they have what? Chlorophyll. What is something called? Pigment. And the presence of sunlight, right? Carbon dioxide gas. They produce glucose, carbohydrate. And what is the result of photosynthesis? Oxygen. See, this is the back of the mind. Here the UPSC is not asking photosynthesis. This is a basic understanding. You know what is photosynthesis. You know about what is ocean. What type of living organisms are found in ocean. If somebody knows algae or phytoplankton, will know that whether it is able to produce oxygen. Comparative. Then now see here, the word is given, phytoplankton. Now these are ecological word. This comes from environmental science. You don't study about phytoplankton in geography. Although geography teacher will connect with phytoplanktons. What is something called ecological productivity, ecosystem productivity. We'll study in the classroom. But the term is there. What is something called? Word is there. Phytoplankton, marine, right? And you see that photosynthetic bacteria. Now this is what fact. How much fact you know? Is it about 50%? Is it 20%? Is it 70%? The facts, right? And again you see, well oxygenated surface water contains several fold higher oxygen than that atmospheric air. See, I will come into the answer, but what I want to convey here, there may not be direct every year question on food chain, food web, but something will be connected to it. Something will be linked to it. What we call producers of the ecosystem, like grassland, desert, forest, or aquatic bodies, like for example lake, river, ocean, that comes here, right? So that's what I wanted to just make you understand. So one area you cannot neglect, that is this part. Ecology, you have to be aware. And I'll tell you that why I always keep on saying every year, whenever I'm taking the class here in this academy, I always keep on saying your homework should be done properly. You cannot say that, okay, this year 2025, this is the question, the next year the same will be asked. No. UPSC will not ask that question. You know the Bekofi, you know something called Bekofi of this coaching industry. You understand that Bekofi? And this is what the trap is all about. UPSC is beyond this kind of thing, the drama which is happening in the coaching industry. Beyond that, UPSC is want the real knowledge. Those who have the real knowledge, who have done their homework very well. So nobody, neither myself as a teacher can predict if this is the question going to come, nor a coaching institute can predict. Nobody can do that. I bet no coaching institute right in this country can say these are the topic, these are the question. Although after the exam is over, everybody start claiming. होता ना सब अपना बैंड बजाना चालू कर देते हैं. अरे मेरा तो इतना आ गया, मेरा उतना आ गया, मैंने ये पढ़ाया तो ये आ गया. That type of, that's what I'm saying, that what I want to say, what will be asked the next year, nobody knows. But you have to prepare for it. It does not mean that the ecology question, what if 2026, UPSC asks 5 questions on that. Basic concept can be asked. And nowadays, you know what is the challenge of the exam? Statement type question. Statement 1, statement 2, statement 3. Now they're making more difficult. Why it is making that difficult? They're basically trying to check whether the student know in depth. It's not superficial. I'll take question. I'll take you the PYQ question there. PYQ is just a window to make you understand the need of the exam, right? So that's what I said. You have to do this, right? Somebody will say, "अरे छोड़ दो ना इसको, इससे क्या question आता है ना, इसको नहीं पढ़ना है." पता चला कि वही question आ गया और वहाँ एग्जाम हॉल में रो रहे हैं बैठ के, अरे यार क्या हो गया. होता ना गाना है ना, ये क्या हो गया, क्यों हुआ, कैसे हुआ, है ना, वो ओल्ड मूवी सॉन्ग. तो वो आपके दिमाग में वो गाना नहीं बजना चाहिए. वो होता ना कि ये तो बहुत बड़ा है ना जुल्म हो गया हमारे साथ, है ना. वो है ना वो गब्बर सिंह शोले, तेरा क्या होगा रे कालिया. तो दैट वो नहीं होना चाहिए. आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट कि मेरे साथ ऐसा नाइंसाफी क्यों हो गया, राइट. So my point to all of you is that please, anything mentioned in syllabus, you are aware of it, right? Whether question comes or not comes, doesn't matter. You are prepared. If there will be any one question, I will be the first to solve it, at least to get 2 marks, right? I'll tell you that in this one, many topics are there which are untouched by UPSC. So far, UPSC has not gone into that. Like we will get into those topics, like, for example, we'll study about biotic interaction, like, keystone species, endemic, a lot of things are there. I'll be coming to that. And what is the UPSC doing nowadays is asking about animal, animal behavior. Some type of behavior it is asking that. Like, orangutan, use of stick to, take out the scrap, the log of the wood, insect, ant or insect. Fungal garden by ants. Right? Then is asking coexistence with the fig and the wasp. Some kind of unique question being asked. And that's what I said. You go to any institute material. After the exam, they will start producing everything in the content and start claiming that this is this thing. But are they doing real research in the content to get the question which can come in the future exam? I'm not talking what has been asked in the exam. What can come in the exam? That kind of thought process. So that is what becomes very, very important for all of you, right? So I will be going to that. This subject we will study in a detailed manner. In ecology, we'll study ecosystem, we'll study ecological succession, we'll study biogeochemical cycle, we'll study biotic interaction. I'm going to teach you everything there. Yet animal thing, species will cover in the biodiversity part, right? Species, right? Here. That's what I have said here. What I said right now. क्या बताया अभी बताओ? हैं? क्या बताया बताओ इनको बताओ. अभी क्या मैंने बताया? Ecosystem, food chain, food web, pyramid, right? Biotic interaction, biogeochemical cycles, right? All this we are going to study. So don't be lost somewhere. Be in the classroom, right? Open mind. That's what we do. What's your name? Ram. Itna acha naam hai. Hey Ram, right? So be here, right? Not to Ayodhya, right? Be here in the classroom there, right? Clear there? We'll study there. Don't worry, we'll study. So I am not writing the topics. When I will come to this topic, I'll list the topics, subtopics, but I'll cover that. I will be covering that. But what I'm saying is that the exam requirement is that you should be knowing that animal behavior. What is it? Animal behavior. Again, I will be going to those kind of aspect, right? The animal behavior and everything there, right? Now, what is another thing here? Biodiversity. This is another, but again, remember that when you say biodiversity, don't worry, now I'm starting with the subject, I'm doing the warm up. We'll go to every topic of that. Biodiversity, you know that species, right? Animal behavior will be based on that. Like, for example, normally when you talk about biodiversity question paper, if you look at previous question paper, we come across tiger, elephant, one-horned rhino, Asiatic lion, right? Those kind of areas are there. But if you look at the question paper, again I'll take one question here. Look at here. 2025, there was a question about this one. Peacock tarantula, right? So now see, normally when you read textbook, what you study? Biodiversity conservation, threatened species, what is called IUCN Red Data Book, Red List, right? Critically endangered, endangered. We'll study that. Don't worry. I will be teaching you all those basic concepts. So that we come across IUCN Red Data Book, current affairs. Again, you know, current affairs when the names comes there. But if you look at the question paper, it is asking us species. See, every year one species being asked, but it's going beyond current affair materials. Even I can bet right now. Exam is over. Question is with you. And all these coaching student materials are there in the market, photocopiers and everywhere, PDF. Just try to go and see which material has covered this particular species. It's very obvious. Those popular kind of material is there, peacock tarantula. Now, if they start giving in the monthly magazine or something, that is irrelevant because next year peacock tarantula will not be asked. Next year, UPSC is not going to ask this. It has been asked. Next year, question will not come. Next year, some other species will come. Are you getting my point? But why I have taken this one? Just to open your eyes, making you aware that how the exam is changing year by year. Right? Tarantula. Those who have studied about the word tarantula, see, I have kept photograph for your understanding purpose. But let's say you have not seen it. You cannot make a guess for tarantula is what type of animal? Is it a primate? Is it a monkey? Is it a bird? Right? Is it a something, you know? One cannot make a guess for the blind guess, you know? Blind guess, you cannot do that. If you look at the question here, saying crustacean. Now look at the biology, what is coming? Crustacean. Mollusk, crustacean, all these biological terms, right? When you study in the animal world, animal kingdom. And again, you can see here, omnivorous. Again, that is from ecology. Herbivore, carnivore, omnivore, detritivores. Right? Those all terms are there. Words are there, right? So that is what coming here. See there now, natural habitat in India only limited. So suppose that nobody knows about this spider. This is a spider. Nobody knows what is there. Just only the tarantula is what is there. So one cannot simply blindly imagine if this can be a crab, crustacean can be crab, can be shrimp. Nobody can make a guesswork here unless until is knowing very clearly what is tarantula. If anybody knows very well. So what is very important thing I would like to tell you, all of you, because this is the first class. What I want to just convey here is that if you are following daily current affairs, somewhere it will be in newspaper, somewhere. Like the Hindu paper or Indian Express, somewhere will be there. May not be monthly magazine, may not be at the end of the year, March, April month, you have a compilation. Maybe somewhere. This is a challenge. I'm telling you, this is a very big challenge. UPSC can ask any species from anywhere now which has come in the news. So let's say this would have come in the Hindu paper, right? And this question has been asked. But again, you see, is not that article in the newspaper. It's asking everything about that species. It's what type of food habit, omnivorous, carnivorous, herbivorous, geography, where it is found, habitat. Then you can see here, arboreal. So this again keyword is there. Arboreal, tree, whether it's a tree living or ground based. So if somebody has done this work properly, has read properly, will be able to solve the answer. By the way, I'll tell you the answer. When you read about it in the newspaper, like when it came in the newspaper, you'll find this word is wrong. It's a carnivorous. It feeds the insect and all this. Then only limited to forest area. This word, if somebody can make it out from this word guti, is in Andhra Pradesh, AP. If somebody, from that state, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, knows about this word guti, will be knowing that this is maybe a particular area in the forest is found there. Natural habitat, arboreal, that means tree, the spider found in the tree. And peacock, because of its, this kind of metallic structure, peacock like, structure. But see here, this question has already been asked. My only purpose of taking this question is that you have to be prepared with whatever the species coming in the news. Okay, let me ask the question. Suppose, let's say, for example, nowadays this is making a headline. Nowadays, this particular animal is making a headline there. hornbill. अभी आजकल बहुत चर्चा में, न्यूज में, कई बार सोशल मीडिया होते हैं ना, सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म एंड ऑल. Sometimes, wildlife documentary. Recently, I saw a movie, the documentary called Nilgiris. There's a, documentaries, sometimes, documentaries are there. Sometimes those kind of documentary movie can come in the cinema hall also, theater also. In Hyderabad, I went to watch this Nilgiris. So there, this hornbill was shown. Let's suppose what I said, next year something else will be asked. Tarantula will not be asked. Now, if you look at hornbill and if you do the Google search in a mobile phone and you write the Hindu, there's a newspaper, so many articles. India is a home of different types of hornbills. What is something we'll study in the biodiversity part? Genetic diversity, different types. One name you will come across this one, Malabar. Malabar is a part of Western Ghats, Kerala, Malabar hornbill. Then you will find this one. If you look at here, what is called here in Nicobar Island, Narkondam, this hornbill is there. Where is found? Nicobar Island. Then you will find this one, grey pied hornbill, northeastern India. Nagaland, if you go to Nagaland, there's a very popular festival called Hornbill Festival, Nagas. The tribes of Nagas, cultural aspect, they'll have the hornbill. I'm just giving that in India itself, we have so many types of varieties of hornbill, genetic diversity, right? And you all know that it is if you look at from animal world, it is a bird, right? It is not a mammal, is not a reptile, it is not a amphibian, it's a bird species. You have seen that. And what is so unique, you know that this bird has a very unique long beak. The hornbill, the strong part of it comes here, right? And if you look at is birds live where? Tree, arboreal, they stay in the tree. And if you look at what type of habitat, so it is again evergreen forest. Even if you go to Amazon forest in Brazil, you'll find varieties of hornbills. Like when you say Nilgiri, what is Nilgiri? It's a biosphere reserve. We study in the class, it is a biosphere reserve. Right? Is again, what type of climate is there? Tropical. High amount of rainfall, higher temperature, right? There you find this particular animal. Now this is, see, what is something called, when you are reading a newspaper, any article, you are trying to add content. You are trying to put on all those content point wise, right? Now what is so very unique thing I found was that when I saw this documentary, that was an animal behavior. What type of animal behavior is there? Right, thank you. What type of animal behavior is there? So I was very, unique to see that. This hornbill as a bird, you have male and female, right? Male hornbill, female hornbill. So what is shown in this document is that the female hornbill, when she has to give birth of the, young ones, egg, so she locks herself in a cavity in the tree, something, tree trunk. The female will lock herself, will keep herself inside, right? Egg, birds lay egg, the young ones will come out, hatching, the young one, and the male, see, female is here, female will not come out here, she will be inside. Male hornbill will bring all the food, will take care of the mother and the young ones, till the young one becomes a bit matured, come out of the, there's a hole what they have made in the thing there. Now this is a behavior, unique animal, something we all have in the human, the altruism. We take care of our children, right? As a parent, we take care. Now this is a bird species which is having this unique behavior, right? So now UPSC is looking into those kind of dimension, animal world, whether you know what type of species there and what type of behavior they have. Did you understand? The female locks herself with the young ones, and very interesting kind of situation. If the female doesn't like the food, the male will go and bring worm, some kind of food. If she doesn't like, she will reject it. Again, the husband has to go for hard work to get something which wife would love to eat, and the children, the young ones. That type of unique behavior. And a very important thing is that by doing so, this hornbill, this this helps in this one. Seed dispersal. They are called engineers of the forest. You know the word engineer, which modify. Engineer does the changes, right? They do some kind of thing there. So what I want to say, why I've taken this example, what if next year in UPSC prelims exam, you have a question on hornbill, which so far has not been asked. See, if somebody knows this one, will be able to answer, yes, I know what is hornbill, right? Tarantula you have to know, because tarantula has been asked in the exam. You know what have been asked in the exam? Tiger, rhinoceros, Asiatic lion, all this has been asked in the exam. But you have to go to where? Those area of species where UPSC has not asked so far. अभी तक क्वेश्चन नहीं आया हुआ है, और जो कहीं ना कहीं न्यूज में है. अब बात समझ रहे हो मेरी बात? कहीं ना कहीं चर्चा में है. इसलिए मैं हर बार बोलता हूँ डेली करंट अफेयर्स. इफ यू फॉलो द डेली करंट अफेयर्स, that helps you to to get that particular question on the animal species. You are able to do that. ठीक है? मैं एक और एग्जाम्पल, इसमें करंट अफेयर्स becomes very important. Static part we have to learn, but dynamic part becomes very, very important. Right? So what I would like to do here, see this module I am telling you, this module is going to be way beyond the normal type of classroom, because static part I will be teaching you that, but I will be connecting many applied areas, and I am going to provide you a handout for that. Today also there is a handout. Every day you will have a handout. I will be giving you a handout. So what is very important? Biodiversity. So what is the one thing very, very important? Species, threatened species. Like hornbill is now threatened. Why? Because today rainforests are being cut, deforestation, habitat loss. What is something called? Habitat loss. And the trees are being cut. Trees are what? Living place of hornbill. So they are being lost, right? So biodiversity part, then you know that geography will come here. Okay, let me ask a question. Current affairs, let me see. कौन बनेगा सिविल सर्वेंट, KBC, राइट? अभी कुछ दिन पहले कुछ न्यूज में है, बायोडाइवर्सिटी के रिलेटेड कुछ न्यूज में, समथिंग इज इन द न्यूज. कैन एनीवन टेल मी? गुड, वेरी गुड. Which Ramsar sites? Good, very good. Which Ramsar site is now making headlines? Wetlands of international importance. All this will come into. See, these are the important areas. If you look at biodiversity conservation, you have 7-8 questions. Like species is one, like threatened species is one area, but protected areas network. Now if you look at India is now 93, and soon will become 100. 100% we are going to become 100. The government of India, we have a central ministry of environment, forest, climate change. And what is government target? That every state and union territory should have at least one Ramsar site. Do you now imagine? 100, the tally of 100 will be reaching very soon, right? So what was in the news? This was in the news right now. Is a Hindi word. Jalashay is the Hindi word, which in English called reservoir. No, English word is reservoir, which in Hindi called Jalashay. Battle of Buxar, right? In history, you read about that. Ara, Buxar, Bihar, right? And then Udaipur. This is making headline. Now again a Hindi word, Jheel, lake. Where? West Champaran. Champaran, you know that. Again history, Champaran Satyagraha, right? So it's a West Champaran. Champaran has two parts, east and west. Bihar has now got 92nd and 93rd Ramsar site. What is the Ramsar site? Wetland of international importance under Ramsar Convention. We'll be studying about conventions. So there it has been declared. Now Bihar has got 5. Now these are facts. And what becomes very important? Mapping, map. Every year, one question on map. Environment question, one question on map will be definitely there. Now tell me, which are other Ramsar sites of Bihar? These are the newly declared Ramsar sites of state of Bihar. Anybody from Bihar here? Yes. Which is the first one in Bihar? Pehla kaun sa hai Bihar ka? Good. Bihar has got the first one, this one. Kabartal, what is called Kanwar Jheel, is in Begusarai. Begusarai district of Bihar. Kabartal or Kanwar Lake. I'll come to a very important thing here. Yes, which are the two? Very good. Nagi and Nakti. Nagi Dam and this Nakti. Both are reservoir dams, when we build a barrage dam, we store water, what is something called reservoir, and that convert into wetland, right? So Nagi is in this one, Jamui district of Bihar. It is very near to Jhaja. There is a place called Jhaja Jamui. This is the southern part of Bihar, not northern part. This is Begusarai. Now, what is common between Kabartal and Gokul and Udaipur Lake? This is newly declared. They are oxbow lakes. Meandering river. Like for example, Gokul Jalashay, it is the southern part of river Ganga, Ganges. State of Bihar, UP Bihar. Southern part of Ganges river, where the channel of water got, formed, and then, sedimentation. Gokul, this kind of lake becomes because of the deposit of sediment, get cut off from the main channel, and then becomes like an oxbow, right? See, one way, what I can think, you can also think that this maybe this word Gokul, Hindi word, is Gokhur. Hindi word is Gokhur. In geography, you will find this, which means oxbow. Go, cow. Horn. You see the horn of the cow? So maybe the origin of the name would have come from there. That's what the word is Gokul. Are you getting that? So if you remember like this, you don't have to mug up. You don't have to ratify. Right? Now many people will, if they don't know Udaipur Jheel, they will think that Rajasthan. There's Udaipur Lake also in Rajasthan. In Rajasthan state, there is Udaipur, and you have a city palace. If you have visited the Udaipur, I've been to there. There's a city palace, very popular tourist place, and there's also Jheel and lake is there. So one would think that that is a Ramsar site. No, it's a state of Bihar. Has got this Champaran. They got this particular lake. Okay, I'll ask one more thing here. Current affairs, when you come to biodiversity conservation, you have to be very updated. One more thing is making headline. If anybody can tell me. We'll study all this concept. I'm going to teach you what is a wetland, conservation of wetland, Ramsar Convention. We'll do the mapping also there. Map-based exercise. But I would just like to know, There's something more making headline recently, very recently. I think yesterday. Okay, let me bring that. कौन बनेगा civil servant? KBC. It will play KBC in the classroom. Don't worry, I will be giving you questions there, assignment. Today I have given there. Where? Where is cold desert? Now is making headlines. Sonam Wangchuk, right? And he's also in Udaipur only. No, Udaipur or Jodhpur. Where is put in there? Jodhpur. He is put in the behind the bar. You know, arrest. You all know that. The arrest in Ladakh. And Sonam Wangchuk is also linked with the environment. What you study with climate change, right? Climate change activist, right? That's where it is happening there. I'll not go into those controversial area, but what is very important, this is the biosphere reserve. When we study in environment ecology, we'll study about 18 biosphere reserves in India. How many are there? 18 are there, 18. You know why it is making headline? Why this is making headline? Now it is the 13th one. 13th biosphere reserve. And we'll study about a very important program called MAB, Man and Biosphere Program. And it's done by UNESCO. You know that? UN agency UNESCO. United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural, or has added to UNESCO. There's a program called Man and Biosphere Program, MAB program. Before this, Panna was there. You know where is Panna? Panna Biosphere Reserve. You know, Panna is also Tiger Reserve. That is Madhya Pradesh, MP. Panna was the 12th Biosphere Reserve added to the UNESCO. Now the very recently, I'm giving you the, you know, breaking news. Sometimes, you know, TV channel breaking news. What is the comes the new news? So now cold desert has been added, 13th one. So we are now still left with 5 more. Maybe coming years, they may also be added, right? Before Panna was, you know that, Kanchenjunga. Kanchenjunga, where is Kanchenjunga? Sikkim, right? Agastya Malai, Agastya Mala, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So we have 18 of them. Now this 13th one is added here. So now when you study, let's say suppose current affairs, you come across cold desert. You have to know everything about cold desert. One is what called geography, climate. And you know that when you talk about cold desert, it's not the Ladakh. Ladakh is a small part of it. You know what is the main part of cold desert? Himachal Pradesh. People say Ladakh. But actually, if you look at this area, is a part of HP, Himachal Pradesh. What is something called this one, Lahaul and Spiti. It is a district of Himachal Pradesh. Lahaul and Spiti district of Himachal Pradesh. And that extend to Ladakh. If you look at the map of India, northern Himachal Pradesh, you know that Kullu Manali, Shimla, Kullu Manali. And then as you go up northern towards which side? Towards part of Ladakh side. You will come across cold desert. Right? That comes here. So what is here? It starts from here. Then it goes to the part of Kibber. There is something place Kibber. Then you know Ladakh. It's a big area. A large area. Geography. तो अभी क्या होगा जैसे कोल्ड डेजर्ट नाम आता है सबके दिमाग में लद्दाख घूमता है हिमाचल प्रदेश भूल जाते हैं क्वेश्चन पेपर पता चला लद्दाख नहीं दिया हिमाचल प्रदेश दिया हुआ are you able to understand that and it's a desert you know what is desert scanty rainfall desert means where poor rainfall and again what is the unique thing about desert you don't have a bigger trees and plants desert no scrub right bush small plants lack of vegetation. You don't have too much of vegetation. But climate wise is cold. Cold what means climate is lower, low temperature. Right? That is what comes here. But it is a biosphere reserve, then what UPSC can ask? Can ask you about the biodiversity. And you know that one of the very important species that can also be asked in the exam. You all know that. Snow leopard. Ladakh, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Himalayan range. You will find this unique animal, snow leopard, endangered species. क्या पता अगले साल स्नो लेपर्ड पे क्वेश्चन है आ सकता है ना क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं स्नो लेपर्ड अभी जैसे मैंने हॉर्नबिल बताया तो पढ़ना है, व्हाट आई वांट टू से, जो मटेरियल में रहता है पढ़ना है, लेकिन आपको कुछ चीजें मटेरियल के बाहर भी जाना होगा। तो क्या हो रहा है ना, अभी क्या हो रहा है, मैं आई टेल यू दैट, पूरा ब्लाइंडली क्या कर रहे हैं ये लोग, जो आ चुका है उसी पे मटेरियल दिए जा रहे हैं, जो आने वाला उस पर तो काम करो, जो एग्जाम में आएगा। जो आ चुका है थोड़ी आने वाला है। अब जैसे स्नो लेपर्ड है, दिस कैन बी आस्क्ड इन द एग्जाम, इट्स कॉल्ड मोनार्क ऑफ द माउंटेन, यू नो, किंग ऑफ द माउंटेन। Snow leopard can climb very fast up and down and being threatened nowadays. Then not only snow leopard, I don't know how many people know this name, Bharal. No, have you heard about this name? Common is a common name, Bharal. Any idea Bharal? If you have heard about this, it's called Himalayan blue ship. Himalayan is a very unique kind of species there. Bharal is a local name, Bharal. Himalayan blue ship found in that area. Then you know this another one. I'll give you Monal. You know what is Monal? It's a bird. It's a bird. It's found in Uttarakhand also. So now when I say cold desert biosphere reserve, does not mean that only snow leopard. There may be other species also in that habitat. Right? Monal is just like a peacock, you know, small bird, very elusive. Elusive means rare. Will not see them. Uttarakhand में भी पाया जाता Monal. This type of. Then you know that if I give you there, then you'll find this one also. Ibex. Himalayan ibex is a, you know, just an antelope, you know, this one. Then you know how many people know this word tahar? Tahar. We have two tahar in India. One is called as a Nilgiri tahar. What is tahar? Goat. Mountainous goat. You understand goat? Bakra. Okay? Mountainous होता है. Easily can climb up and come down. Nilgiri, we have got Nilgiri tahar. In cold desert, we have a Himalayan tahar, which is adapted to cold climate. And you know, Nilgiri is known for Shola, tropical climate. See, that's what I'm saying. When you look at environment as a subject, you have to know the basic thing, concept. Then you have to build upon it. UPSC is asking question from the basic concept, build upon the area, this type of question. Like, you know, Biosphere reserve, the mapping part of it, wetland, Ramsar sites, tiger reserves, elephant reserves, right? All those areas, the questions are being asked. So don't worry, see, I will be doing that one. See, the purpose, that's what I said, the purpose of this classroom is that to go beyond the books. One is the textbook, the basic syllabus, and then connect basic syllabus with this contemporary things, where the question being asked. है ना? और अभी क्यों न्यूज में, क्योंकि सोनम वांगचुक को लेके है लद्दाख का, तो वो सोनम वांगचुक तो नहीं पूछेंगे, राइट? हाँ, कुछ कनेक्टेड पूछ सकते हैं 6th शेड्यूल के बारे में, या जो भी ऐसे पॉलिटी गवर्नेंस की चीजें हैं, दैट कैन बी आस्क्ड. बट यस, क्लाइमेट चेंज के बारे में, यू नो, नाउअडेज ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, क्लाइमेट चेंज इम्पैक्ट इज बीइंग डन on that area. You know, one of the reason for protest was that also the environment of Ladakh is changing, right? Global warming impact is happening on Ladakh. So one of the demand was that also that to protect the Ladakh and its pristine environment, right? That was also one of the, and second thing is that basic rights, you know, that schedule, being a union territory, you know, now Ladakh is about union territory, the statehood, demand for statehood, getting that, you know, say tribal right, because 93% of the population are tribes. That is a, you know, polity and governance. When you study polity and governance, but when it comes to my subject, you study about geography, climate, the biosphere, this ecology, biodiversity part. You have to connect a lot of, you know, areas when you study a particular topic. Correct? So that's what I'm trying to make you understand. So that's what I'm saying here. The second area is biodiversity, and don't worry, I'll give you all the list of the topics. Right, I will be going to all the topics there. All the protected areas will study there. And mapping, I will have one class, one full class I will be doing the mapping part. We'll have a practice in the class, how to do the mapping part. Because one question, sure, will be on map. 100% will be on map. Now, third area, which becomes very, very important, which you all know that, this one, pollution. I'm just giving the broad framework. We'll study in the classroom pollution topic, but now you know that pollution topic is now again getting very, very, you know, different. UPSC is not asking air pollution, water pollution. And what is the most thing you will find in the current affair material? Delhi smog, Delhi smog, Delhi smog. सब स्मॉग के पीछे पागल है. खोलो के मटेरियल दिल्ली स्मॉग, बस शुरू हो गए स्मॉग स्मॉग स्मॉग. राइट. टुडे वर्ल्ड वाइड इंक्लूडिंग इंडिया, द लॉट ऑफ पोल्यूशन एस्पेक्ट इज देयर. अगेन व्हाट द मोस्ट ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूट मटेरियल विल डू? गंगा के पीछे पड़े हुए. गंगा, नमामि गंगे, गंगा pollution, Yamuna pollution. Yes, you have to study that. I'm saying that you have to study that. But when you look at pollution, there are different types of pollutions are there. Right? You know, different types of pollutions are there. Let's look at one question. Just let me see if I can give you a question here. There was one question. Let me see here if I can bring that. Okay, but then this year you'll find that this will say this one. This activated carbon was asked. Pollution questions has also been asked. You know now what they are asking? Very interesting thing I have found. हम उसको कम कर सकते हैं क्योंकि अब पूरा ये भी कोल्ड डेजर्ट बन गया है. पता चला सबको जैकेट निकालना पड़ रहा है. राइट. नहीं उसको कर सकते हैं. हाँ ठीक है. ठीक है. आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? Pollution, again lot of topics are there. Right. I have not brought the question, but there is a question of cement manufacturing. You know, clinker, something called clinker. You know, how we make the cement. You know, the cement today, Portland cement and all, we do have a lot of raw materials. Carbon emission, what is something called carbon emission? Yeah, how much CO2, carbon dioxide emissions are there? Few years back, UPSC asked about smelting, you know, smelting unit, smelter, sulfur dioxide gas, SO2 gas. So now UPSC is not asking the normal textbook pollution question. What I want to say is not asking textbook. Then there was a question microplastic, you know, plastic, nanoplastic, macroplastic. Is asking again something in the news, something which we read in the newspaper. Right? Let's say for example, nowadays this is a problem, light. Again Ladakh comes. Right? Again Ladakh comes. What is there in the Ladakh regarding light pollution? Light pollution, something has been declared. You know that one. There's something has been declared in the Ladakh. First time in India, we have in the Ladakh something has been declared there. Yeah. No, there's right there. I'll just put across there. Again, very interesting thing is there. There's a place called Henley. Henley in Ladakh. We have a telescope there. You know, astronomical telescope to see the, you know, universe. And it is India's first dark sky reserve. What is something called dark sky? Dark sky reserve. You know, for astronomy, for watching the sky, you need clear sky, right? And also require light-free sky. There should not be any something called, you know, glaze. When you go in the night sky, what you find in urban areas, there light everywhere. So when you look up in the sky, it is not very clear, hazy. You cannot watch stars, galaxy, constellations. So what they have done in the Henley, that during the night time there will be dark. What is dark means? There will be no light. One purpose is to astronomy, you know, to encourage people to come to Ladakh and see those sky. You know, we can see Milky Way, our own galaxy, Milky Way galaxy can be seen there. What is second thing? This one. Species conservation. Because, you know, they get distracted by the light. Right? There may be sometimes, you know, wetland. We study in the classroom, there is one very important wetland called Somoriri. It's a Ramsar site. And one of the important, you know, wintering bird, which comes in black-necked crane. They have given the name the black-necked crane. So, maybe disturbance. Are you getting the point? So, light pollution. Now, this could be a question in the exam. Nowadays, it's happening there. And it's affecting bird migration, you know, birds which are getting migrated. You know, sometimes turtle, you know, kachua, turtles and tortoise. Turtles which are, you know, olive ridley turtle. Gahir Mata in Orissa and all, they are getting affected. East and West. So, many. So, again, pollution we have to study, air pollution, land pollution, then, you know, water pollution, river pollution, wetland pollution. But we have to go, again just look at what plastic, nuclear, light, these emerging areas. Then nowadays waste disposal, solid waste, then e-waste, electronic waste, garbage. Now again lot of current affairs comes, बहुत सारे current affairs आ जाते हैं. तो हमें स्टैटिक पार्ट को तो पढ़ना है, वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द थ्योरी, लेकिन हमें फिर बियॉन्ड थ्योरी जाना है, बट गो वन स्टेप फर्दर फ्रॉम द थ्योरी पार्ट. एंड यूपीएससी इज आस्किंग द अप्लाइड एरिया. यूपीएससी इज नॉट आस्किंग what causes air pollution, what causes the land pollution, is going beyond them, है ना. So that's another topic which I said, this is another area which we are going to cover in the classroom there, pollution part. And then comes here this one, climate change. लगातार क्वेश्चन आ रहा है, लगातार, every year you'll have at least 2-3 questions. But again, what is UPSC is doing is not asking greenhouse gases, it's not asking the other thing. What is asking? COP, Conference of Parties. Last year November, Baku, Azerbaijan, there was a COP 29, and now this year COP 30 will be in Belém. Belém is in Brazil. Brazil is the host of COP 30, Conference of Parties 30, Paris Agreement. And this year what UPSC did? Article 6 was asked. Article 6 of Paris Agreement. See, now it's getting more deeper. See, when you study climate change, I will be teaching you a convention called UNFCCC. हम लोग क्लास में क्या पढ़ेंगे? United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. UN की convention है. And there are 2 agreements, Kyoto Protocol, Kyoto, which was in the past, 97, and then Paris Agreement 2015. These are 2 agreements. Right now we are running with the Paris Agreement. Kyoto is expired. But what is UPSC is asking, that you should know what is Paris Agreement. What is something called NDC, Nationally Determined Contribution. लेकिन वो क्वेश्चन क्या पूछ रहे हैं? करंट से पूछ रहे हैं. जैसे COP 29, Azerbaijan, Baku Declaration. What has been declared in the Baku? Right, climate finance, climate finance, clean technology. Then what is Article 6? Carbon market. Do you know carbon market? कहीं पढ़ा है carbon market के बारे में? हाँ, ये सब अभी न्यूज में है, carbon market. Any idea about carbon market? हाँ, there's something which is traded, carbon market, in terms of carbon credit system, credit. Then one more word comes, clean development mechanism, CDM, joint implementation. And India is one of the signatories. We are a party of the climate change, right? वहाँ question पूछ रहे. Then India's commitment to fight climate change. About that, our NDC. What is NDC? Nationally Determined Contribution. What is something called Panchamrit? Panchamrit. कितने लोग पता है Panchamrit के बारे में? Let me just start. What is India's Panchamrit? See, this is where the current affairs come. See, one is that we have to study what is climate change, impact of climate change, IPCC report, IPCC reports. Then we will study about Paris Agreement, Kyoto Protocol, carbon market, ये सब तो पढ़ना है. But again, the question is coming from dynamic area. Panchamrit. कोई idea बताओ क्या है? What is Panchamrit? So you will study that. See, you all are new to the class, ठीक है? But I am just trying to make you understand. Today being the first class, something called warm up. After that, we have to run marathon. ठीक है? मैराथन से पहले थोड़ा बॉडी को वार्म अप करना होता है ना. वो होता है ना, जस्ट टू मेक यू अवेयर कि दिस एग्जाम एंड इन्वायरमेंट सब्जेक्ट हैज बिकम सो चैलेंजिंग एंड वेरी डिसाइसिव, राइट? द काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस दे आर बीइंग आस्किंग, राइट? स्टूडेंट्स आर वरीड हाउ टू टैकल दोज काइंड ऑफ एरिया देयर, राइट? पंचामृत इज वेरी सिंपल. आवर 5 plays, Panch, 5, Amrit. Nowadays you come across Amrit Kal, 75 years of India's independence, Amrit Kal and all. But I'll tell you that what is Panchamrit. One is this one. Carbon emission. Earlier we had a 33-35% GDP intensity, what is something called based on GDP. But we revised, we'll study in the classroom Glasgow Summit, 2000, COP 26, 21. So we revised to 41%, 45%. What is that? Total amount of greenhouse gases. That is reduced. That is the first Amrit. Second is this one. You are all aware of this. renewable power. This is all by 2030, Paris Agreement. India has to go for 500 gigawatt, solar power, wind power, renewable energy. And we have already reached the half. Now we are in 2025. So we have already done in 5 years. Another half we have to achieve. So India is way ahead of the target. We can reach this target. Second Amrit. Third Amrit is this one. No, it talks about this one. The same thing, 45 reduction is what? That is the greenhouse gases, carbon emission. But now what India has placed, that will go for cumulative non-fossil power generation, non-fossil fuel. That is a 45%. But then you will say, sir, what is the difference between this and this? Both of them talking together, same thing. But here the word is non-fossil fuel, this power generation. I'll give you an idea what this means here. See, when you say non-fossil fuel, it also includes nuclear power. Non-fossil, what is fossil? Coal. Coal, natural gas. They are called fossil fuel. Other than coal and natural gas, they are non-fossil fuel. That may include biomass also, biomass, nuclear power. So 45% cumulative. What is cumulative means? We are not going to shut down our thermal power plant. See, today India is generating what? Thermal power station. We will add on them. Whatever we generate, will plus add on. And what is our target? 500 gigawatt will scale up solar, wind, those areas will scale up. Right? This is the third one. And again, this one. Carbon capture of 2.5 to 3 gigaton CO2 by, forest. What is the fourth Amrit? That 2.5 to 3 gigaton carbon dioxide capture will do with the trees and forest. ये मैं पढ़ाऊंगा आप लोगों को क्लास में. हम लोग पढ़ेंगे ग्रीन इंडिया मिशन. We'll study about this Green India Mission, National Action Plan on Climate Change. It's a big thing. You know that what is the target, national target of forest cover in India, trees and forest cover? 33%. We have reached up to 24%. So we'll scale up, right? And what is another target? Net zero. Right? What do you mean by net zero? Is that no carbon emission, zero carbon emission? कोई emission नहीं होगा, वो net zero है या कुछ और net zero है? बताओ. Any idea what is net zero? Whatever our emissions are there will be balanced by capture. Net, whatever we emit will balance by absorption. Net zero doesn't mean that no emission. Right? If you have no emission, then no light, no AC, nothing will be there. Whatever we generate will absorb. And worldwide, Paris Agreement, we have kept target of 2050. But India is asking for 2070. Why so? See, the global level is at 2050, mid of the century. Global, that means all other world, developed countries, developed countries, they will cap, what is something called cap, at 2050, mid of the century. But India is saying 2070. Why so? हाँ, अब मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है. अब आवाज आ रही है. अभी तो आप लोग चुपचाप देख रहे थे, पता नहीं क्या चल रहा है, नहीं चल रहा है ना? लेकिन अब खुल रहा है. हाँ, by 2070 yes. तो क्या हुआ? 20 development? हाँ? No, that's right. That they have done more emission, but more time. Okay, what about your opinion? So developing countries, so it needs time for transition, right? Transition to cut down the emission there. Okay, any idea this side? Okay. Okay, need about that. Yes, any idea? Why 2017? See, what is one of the big challenge for our country? Biggest challenge, population. Developing country, you are right. I agree on that. The biggest challenge is that today India has already reached 1.45 billion. What is the global population right now? Global population is reaching 9 billion. And around 1.45 we are there. And it's said that in coming 20 years we'll reach 1.7, 170 million. Now what is another thing? We have a young population. 18 years to, if you look at 35 years, we have very young population right now. Now when India will reach this one, 2050, mid of the century, 25 years, you all will grow old. Right? If you are in 20s, you will be 40s now. After 25 years, you will be 40s and 50s. You will reach there now. By 2070, you will be old man. 60s and 70s, you will be there. Is it not that? And those Gen Z, who are joining Gen Z? Gen Z is the millennium, no? One is called millennial child, 2001. Imagine 2070, there will be 70 years old people, right? So one is our population, because something called, we study in the classroom, one is called, gross emission, and second called per capita emission. Each one of us emit carbon every day. Every day we emit carbon, direct or indirect. There's something called carbon footprint. What is carbon footprint? Our emission. Like for example, when I'm riding a bike, or I'm driving a car, I'm emitting a greenhouse gas. That is a direct emission I'm doing every day. When I'm having any food product, right? So now this food product which has been made manufacturing, there's an indirect emission I'm doing that, right? Today I'm using electricity here, this electricity I'm using right now as a person. We all are using there. But production of this electricity, there's emission of greenhouse gas. We account that also there, right? So what will happen by 2070? We will be a old population. Our emissions, and by that time, what all of you have said, we will transit to the clean technology, because we are a developing nation. We are not a developed. We don't have resources. We don't have technology, because being a developing country, we don't have those kind of a better technology. What will happen in future? India will develop new technology. Like, nowadays we are talking EVs, electric vehicles. And I'll tell you that 20 years down the line, this petrol, diesel will be gone. This was already started. Now you see in the car, you'll have seen the cars there, green color car and all this. And we are also making transition to the hydrogen, green hydrogen economy. We're making a transition. That will be visible by 2050. Right? So by that time, we will be able to cut down the emission, because technology will be there. What is net zero? Emission balance with absorption. So that is a fact. So this is called Panchamrit. Right? This is what called Panchamrit. So those type of areas, we study about mangroves, they're called misty, something called misty conservation. Mangrove forest, Sundarban Delta, all those we are having there. So what is very, very important, which I would like to add here, these are the 4 very important areas. Last but not the least, we must again be prepared with it. This topic, environmental impact assessment. कहाँ क्वेश्चन आता है? मेंस में आता है. Where will you get the question? This is purely main exam. Environmental impact assessment. See why? That's what today being the first class, I'm highlighting that these are the 5 big areas. In our subject, we have to cover these 5 big areas. And all these are what? Interconnected with current affairs. EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment. Any idea? Tell me that. You all know that. EIA, we काफी news में है. It's all in the news. Mining project, metro project, Great Nicobar redevelopment project is making all the headlines. Even we are making roads, highways, infrastructure demand, right? All these we are doing that. I'll give you a very good example. Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand is under a lot of pressure. One is what? Cloud burst. Recently Mandi. Mandi? Where is Mandi? The Himachal Pradesh. Cloud burst. Cloud burst is taking place. So what is happening there? All this, what is there in what is something called ecologically sensitive areas. When you look at the Himalayan range, is a fragile, right? One is the landscape, hilly areas, mountain areas. And what we are doing now, we are constructing highways, cutting the hill, constructing the highway. There's demand of development. Everybody, people want in mountain also better road, better electricity. We want this one. But again, what becomes very important? Impact of the environment. Joshimath, you know that. Anybody from Uttarakhand here? Uttarakhand? No. Which state? Assam. Love Jubinda, right? Jubin Garg. Acha, untimely demise. Nobody expected that scuba diving. He went for that. He died there. Right? Now see here. Till he was alive, nobody was talking about him. Right? But after his death, now he is now celebrity. As all this. Assam, again see, I'll tell you that Assam is again vulnerable. Brahmaputra River. Brahmaputra River is a rich in biodiversity. I'll give you a very good example. You all know that Majuli Island, right, is a very riverine island, is rich in biodiversity. Very rich in biodiversity. But what is happening in Assam? Again development. All these are getting affected. Assam is again now increase in population. Development is causing problem. It is not only the Sikkim or Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, but we are having problem everywhere. So what is very important here? EIA study. Before you start any project, right? We need EIA. And India का सबसे बड़ा problem क्या हो रहा है? Infrastructure project. Highway, railway. Recently, Mizoram has been now connected by rail line. That is required. See, we cannot go to bullock cart age. You understand? Bullock cart. We cannot go back to primitive times. But what do we require here? We require development which is sustainable. What is something called sustainable development? Environment friendly development. And technology can play a very important role. What is something called mitigation, engineering. कौन बोलता है कि आप डैम मत बनाओ या हाईवे नहीं बनाओ आप ऐसे बनाओ जहां पर इम्पैक्ट को हम कम कर सके. And today it can be done. If engineers start developing, we can develop such kind of a model, which can be green model, green with the kind of development could be there. But what is the problem that most of the engineering courses only teach engineering discipline, doesn't bring the environmental aspect. But if you go to Japan, Europe, they have a special course on the environmental designing. What is something called environment design. Airport, if you recently I'll tell you, Bangalore airport, Bangalore, Kempegowda International Airport. Now they have got another terminal. One is a T1, T2. So beautiful, so beautiful. All green with, you have a waterfall, recycling of water, bamboo, bamboo based architecture. Bamboo, is a biodegradable. So is it engineering now? Who has developed the terminal? Engineers. But they brought those kind of, again they brought those lighting system, sometimes, outside sunlight, flow of air. Normally what we have AC and all this, right? Cooling system. So they redesigned. And they designed, it has got an award in terms of airport. So that is where, engineers can play a role in EIE. For any project, I am talking about any project. They can play a very important role. Right? So टेंशन बिल्कुल नहीं लेना है. और अब हाँ मेरे बात का मतलब वो ये नहीं करना. राम ठीक हो? No, you are from where? Huh? Andhra Pradesh. I love, ragi food. I love a lot. Whenever I go to Hyderabad, there's a lot of student stalls are there. I'll tell you I don't go to the big hotel. Now, normally, people eat biryani, barista. Barista, which one is that? That Bawarchi, haan. That RTC Crossroad, Have you been to Hyderabad? RTC Crossroad, there is a Bawarchi. Near Sandhya Talkies, there is a cinema hall. Where Allu Arjun, Pushpa, right? He has some tragedy there, right? Some tragedy happened there. Recently, one more tragedy happened, Karur, Tamil Nadu. Vijay, right? Vijay, that recently, it is now making headline, Stampede, crowd management. Similarly, when Pushpa 2, when we released Allu Arjun, the main actor, he went to Sandhya Talkies, there is a RTC Crossroad. Again, there was a stampede. And one woman with her daughter or something, child, died in that part of it. But that was even controlled. But this Karur one, Now, so many people died. That fringiness. So stampede is another, disaster. It's called a disaster. Crowd stampede, right? So what I want to say, you should always enjoy life. Where in Andhra Pradesh you belong? Which place? Which place? Tell me. I know Kakinada. Kakinada is a very popular place there. I told you, I visit all over India. I'm a pan-India faculty. So Kakinada is another very good place. There is there. You're from where? Hyderabad, then you know that. I generally, Ashok Nagar, whenever I'm in the class, I go around and I get very good ragi dosa, ragi idli. Even I have a ragi drink also. Do you have ragi drink here? Huh? And 20 rupees you'll have a very good ragi drink, early morning breakfast. Very healthy also, right? So, but in Delhi, people have not adopted right now millet. In South, they are using millet. Odisha also. In Bhubaneswar, when I go to Jaidev Bihar, I take that ragi idli also. There is Chappan Bhog, one name of the restaurant there. यहाँ मिलता है रागी वगैरह ये नहीं मिलता है यहाँ राजमा चावल ही मिलता है राजमा चावल एंड छोले भटूरे where you have a South Indian food here you have South Indian food 2-3 are there not there okay and you are from Bihar which place in Bihar मुजफ्फरपुर लीची के लिए बहुत फेमस है तो कभी भी घर जाए तो ask him to bring लीची and have the लीची शाही लीची राइट वो है और वो लिट्टी चोखा मिलता है इधर लिट्टी चोखा मिलता है राइट एंड आई जस्ट मेंशन चंपारण ना चंपारण इज नोन फॉर मीट चंपारण मीट देयर इज वेरी पॉपुलर वन इन पटना दिस वन आई डोंट नो व्हिच इज द नेम द राजू सम नेम इज देयर दे हैव अ लिट्टी विद मटन दैट देयर इज मेनी फिल्म एक्टर्स गोस एंड एंजॉय दोस ऑल आर नॉन वेजिटेरियन नो अच्छा सॉरी नवरात्रि का समय नॉन वेज नहीं बात करना चाहिए नवरात्र सॉरी नो नॉन वेज टुडे दशहरा सो हाँ कल के बाद नॉन वेज बात कर सकते हैं आफ्टर दैट नॉन वेज वी कैन टॉक दैट राइट सो हाउ मेनी फ्रॉम दिल्ली हियर दिल्ली only 1%, 2%. Only 2 people are there. You are from which place? अरुणाचल विच वेयर हाँ इनका भी बारी आएगा पता क्यों नामधापा जब आएंगे ना तो नामधापा में इनका नाम आएगा उनको हिंदी पता है अरुणाचल में हिंदी जानते हैं ना आई बीन टू ईटानगर so ईटानगर आई बीन टू देयर एंड दे नो बिकॉज आई टेल यू दैट आई शुड नॉट से बट one of the problem with North Indian people is that they consider all the northeastern people the same only thing but they have a very different ethnicity and their culture. They have very different culture also. If you go to Nagaland, we'll have a different type of culture of Nagas there. Then when you go to Manipur, again you'll find different. Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, all you'll find different type. Assam, Sikkim. But we call them Northeast. Simple we say it in that way. Same, thing with the South. They'll consider all Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu all same. All the same. Kerala also the same, right? But they have differences. I'll tell you that India is a melting pot, or something called na, and that is also you can say diversity of Homo sapiens. We are also species, modern man, right? What you study in anthropology. We have also very rich, ethnicity among the humans in India. If you look at tribes in India, right? If you look at Andaman tribes, Nicobar tribes, like if we go to the Tamil Nadu, we have Toda. Recently, I was in Karnataka. I went to Kodagu, Kurg. You have a Kodava tribe. Another one is that. We have so much richness. India is so rich in biodiversity, not only in animals and plants, but also human being also there. We are also part of the biodiversity. Right? Anybody from Karnataka here? Okay, which place? Belgaum is the northern side there. Right? Abhi kal ek achhi movie release ho rahi hai. The Kantara 2. I have booked my ticket. Rishabh Shetty, right? And Kantara is also environment movie. Why? Tell me how the environment is linked? Forest. About the forest. And one of the things we'll study in our class, cultural aspect of the ecosystem. You have seen in that Varaha, that Varaha Rupam, that song, you know that? Udupi, Udupi part, when you go to northern Kannada, there it comes there. Okay, Karnataka, 1% is from Karnataka, Belgaum. You are also from Karnataka? कहाँ से है बिहार से औरंगाबाद is good, very good. You are from Assam. Assam में कहाँ? गुवाहाटी या सिलचर? अच्छा, ये भी बहुत अच्छा जगह से है, सिलचर एंड ऑल. व्हाट अबाउट यू? कहाँ, कौन? पटना से ही है? खास पटना, बोरिंग रोड के आसपास, वहाँ पे बहुत है. बोरिंग रोड में वहाँ इतने सारे कोचिंग खुल गए. बट पटना स्टूडेंट कम्स टू दिल्ली देयर. यस माय डियर बॉय. हाँ, हिमाचल. अब तो आपको मैं पकड़ूंगा मैं. All this Mandi and everything, cloud burst and everything. Mandi, oh, he's from Mandi only. Oh God, cloud burst. You are safe now. Your family is safe, right? Pakka? Because that was a news. Sometimes media present bigger than something. It looks like the entire Mandi is gone. When you watch a TV, you will see that Mandi is gone, right? But that is only one part. But they exaggerate in such kind of scale of destruction. It looks like the entire city has gone. Then now nothing left there. Okay. And what about you? हरियाणा से कहाँ से है? महेंद्रगढ़. वो वही है ना, राखी गढ़ी महेंद्रगढ़ वही है. हड़प्पा सिविलाइजेशन हिसार में है. अच्छा, तो वहां से कितनी दूर है हिसार? 200 किलोमीटर. ठीक है. आपका झारखंड, टाटानगर, लेट्स गो जमशेदपुर. ओके. उधर कोई है रामसर साइट वगैरह, वेटलैंड वगैरह? ओके, तो जमशेदपुर में नहीं है. व्हाट अबाउट यू? हाँ, पलवल. पलवल इज नियर बाय, आई थिंक सो. हाँ, पलवल. यू आर फ्रॉम दिल्ली. ओके. व्हाट अबाउट यू? अच्छा, जय महाराष्ट्र. नहीं, नहीं, कुठे खरा है? खरा है कौन सी जगह पे है? नहीं, विच प्लेस यू हैव? द सांगली. आई हैव बीन टू देयर. मेरा सांगली. वहाँ पता है क्या मिलता है? भड़ंग. ही नोज भड़ंग. यू नो भड़ंग? व्हाट इज भड़ंग? नो आइडिया भड़ंग. यू नो दिस व्हाट इज कॉल्ड इन नॉर्थ में, क्या बोलते हैं वो जो नमकीन, जो दैट पोहा जैसा होता है, चूड़ा जो होता है ना, पोहा. नहीं नहीं, मैं दिखा देता हूँ. दिस आई विल कम टू द हैंडआउट, बट जस्ट भड़ंग. लेट मी सी व्हाट इज टेस्ट टू नेम. नहीं, बड़ा पाव तो है ही वहां पर. और नहीं, अब ये नाम पूछ रहे हैं. डिलीट दिस वन. ये दिस वन, फर्स्ट वन. ओके. Because I am coming after a long time this classroom. Last time I took, again I am coming here. So Bhadang, Maharashtra. अब पता नहीं कुछ और भड़ंग ना खुल जाए. Nowadays AI ना, AI is कुछ और है. हाँ, स्पाइसी स्नैक. भूख तो नहीं लग रही है? दिस वन आजकल आता है, वो क्या बोलते हैं, वो भेलपुरी जैसे ही है. नहीं, बट इज नॉट भेलपुरी. नाउडेज वो आता है पैकेट में, हल्दीराम. Haldiram and all, you will find this one. We'll put there. That is called bhadan. Amba bhadan. Another thing part of that, right? So food habit. Again, that is a biodiversity. Different type of food cuisines. And India has got every part of the country will have different food items, right? That comes here. Anyway, don't worry. My class will be very interesting one. So this is what I've just tried to make you understand here. What I'll do, just very quickly, let's start with the topic. See, I have discussed about, we'll be coming to all this one. Don't worry, I will be teaching you with every aspect of it. Then I have Ramsar site will be covering there. I brought something, cold desert and biosphere I will cover. Now, just very quickly, you know that around 15 to 18 questions are there. This is a bar graph I have shown there. Almost it fluctuates. Here by 2-3 questions fluctuation will be there. Then, these are the topic which I have already covered. Climate change, biodiversity. Now, you see invasive species. Nowadays, they're asking question. No, invasive species. What is invasive species? Which migrate, multiply very fast. So all this will cover that. Basics of ecology and all. This is just a breakup I have given. This I have already mentioned. Few of the questions I have kept. This one, Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, carbon market. We'll discuss that. What I'll do, every class, I'll bring the PYQs of that topic. Right? Just a glimpse I am giving you. So, COP28, all this we'll study. COP29, COP30, we are going to cover there. Then this species part I have mentioned there. Hornbill I was talking about. Then one more thing, organization is being asked every year. Prelims exam. Like for example, this one, ADB, Nature Solution Finance Hub for Asia and the Pacific. These are from current affairs. You will not find in textbook. What the textbook covers? UNESCO, then FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization. Then that UN agency, UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, IUCN. These are normal now we come across. You will not come across in textbook this name. These are from current affairs. something in the news. Direct question. This is a direct question they're being asking. I'll give you this PPT. Don't worry. This PPT you will be getting. Then activated carbon will cover there in the classroom. Then this year mains exam. There are 5 questions are there, but I kept 4 of them. See here, carbon capture. This year, just now, exam is over recently. So that is water. Then, sea water intrusion, coastal aquifer, sea water impact, sea level rise, what impact on agriculture, aquaculture. Then, there is a question about mineral resources, fundamental to country's economy. Now, there is nothing mentioned here, EIA. See, this question number 3, there is no mention of EIA. But, when we talk about mining, again, we have to do environmental impacts assessment, right? That part is there. And then climate change, COP26, it has asked COP26, Glasgow. Although Glasgow summit was in 2021 and exam was done in 2025, but question has been asked. So, अब क्या हो रहा है ना, current affairs, they are asking even the question from past 2-3 years. See, one current affairs is 1 year. When you study 1 year current affairs, but now they are going beyond that. Like here, this mains question. See, I'll tell you that the challenging part is the prelims exam. Believe me, GS3 paper, where GS3 paper. Mains exam, it will not be difficult. I can tell you that mains exam is all about answer writing. Knowledge wise, you will be aware of the topics. The writing part is the most important, right? So what I will do every class, today also I have done that, I will give you a question to write. That is one question, right? And then I'll provide you the model answer so that you can also try something to, start writing on environment topics. This just I have kept for a general understanding part, right? We'll do one thing. Let's begin with the topic, because this was just general overview, right? We must start with the topic, and my way of teaching will be that I will explain certain things on the board. Digital board will be there. Wherever it will be there, I will provide you notes also, because I don't want you to carry textbook before the exam. That's not possible. You cannot carry a book in the exam, right? Now, many of you would ask, sir, what should be the source to follow? Really, see, whichever book you have, which book you have got, just a small bit, which book you have got, whichever book you have. See, that's what I'm saying. If you look at sources, don't go for multiple books there. There are many books are there. All books have the same content. Whether you talk about Shankar IAS or PMF or whatever books you talk about, all have got the same content, right? You have to. I told you what are the 5 areas: ecology concept, biodiversity, pollution and environmental issues, climate change, and EIA. Those basic things you have to follow, right? Any book you have got in your home, or whichever, you have a PDF also. Sometimes PDFs are also there. You have got there. तो जो है या नहीं है, कोई भी book है ना, तो जो भी book है, whatever content you have got. But only one thing which I would like to add here. See, when you take any environment book, they have their own way of presentation. There may be some kind of chapter may be not in a sequence. They might initially give some other topics, then bring some other topics. But what is the challenge? I have seen that normally any book you look at, there will be 300 plus. I'm very sure 300 pages will be there. Any textbook you do. So basic, what you have to do, whatever I'm teaching in the classroom, just focus on that, and I will be providing you the handouts, some key points, which can be quick revision. Before the exam, you can revise fast, so that your time is saved, because you know that you have to study history, geography, polity, economy. They are very, very vast. You have so many things to read, right? Plus the classroom, whatever coming. Questions I will be linking with the topic. And current affairs, what I'll do, I'll give you value addition topics. Let's say when I will come to biodiversity, species and protected areas, you'll have a value addition topics there. All right. So your geography is over now, or is still going on? Covered. So now anything in the geography class you have linked with the environment part, you have covered. Climatology you have done, climatology, oceanography, climatology. So now you will be in position to connect. You know about atmosphere, stratosphere, ozone, all those we have covered there, right? But so I don't have to tell you what is Gulf, what is Bay, right? What is a strait, right? Because sometimes happen there. I know that sometimes I'm teaching in a class, there the student have not done the geography. So like when I'm talking Gulf of Mannar, so they're blank. What is Gulf? Then I have to explain that this is Gulf and this is the place called Mannar, Tamil Nadu. This is what comes here, right? So you are aware of all those words there. Have you covered mangroves? Mangroves. The mapping part you have done, where the mangroves are there. Who taught geography? So he would cover there. He's a teacher who apply the areas, technological area and environment. Ramsar he would not have covered. Ramsar convention, Ramsar sites he has not covered. But mangroves you have covered. Coral reefs. Huh? Types of coral reefs, barrier reef, atoll, and fringing reefs. Where in India reefs are there, you know that. Which are the prime area where coral reefs are found in India? Lakshadweep. Okay. Then, apart from Lakshadweep. Acha, mix of them. Okay. Okay, I got it there. In somebody has covered, others have not covered. Not a problem there. And what about wetlands? Wetland concept. Those who covered the geography part. Wetland, marshy area, right? Marsh, swamp. All these are known. Okay, I'll ask the question. What is the difference between marsh and swamp? Marsh and swamp. What is the difference? Anybody in the class? Those who have covered there. See, when you say wetland, like what comes marsh, and there comes swamp. What is the basic difference? We'll study about pitland also. Pitland, fen, bog. These are all examples of wetlands. So, but what is the basic difference in marsh and swamp as wetlands? When you say wetlands here, wetlands are different types. Two of the name you will come across this one. Anyone in the class? What is a wetland? Land filled with water, submerged with water. So anyone? Yes. क्या difference है दोनों में basic अंतर क्या है? Marshy area and swampy area जो बोलते हैं. Mangrove क्या है? Mangrove is a swamp or marsh? When it's a mangrove forest, Sundarban Delta, is a mangrove forest will come into this one or this one? Huh? Okay, not a problem there. See, here you find here, grass and shrubs. Here you have this type of perennial type of plants there. Small plants. You'll find, floating plants. Sometimes, floating plants. Mangrove is this one. We don't say mangrove marsh. We say mangrove swamp. Both are land filled with water, right? But here what you find? You find woody plants. You'll not come across grass. Sometimes there will be trees also there. When you look at a swamp, I'll show you the photograph. When you look at a swamp, it will fill with water. What we in Hindi call daldal. Filled with water, land with water. But in swamp, you'll come across wood. Those plants which has a wood. Is a mangrove has a wood. And even trees. But when you say marsh, you'll find all grasses will be there. Moss, small moss, grass. Let me show you the photograph. See, this is the marsh. So these are some basic things from geography. That's what I asked. How much you have covered the geography part? Because geography will be connected with environment ecology. When you come to geography, this will be covered. This is the marshy area. But when you talk about this one, this is swamp. This is swamp. Trees are there. But when you talk about this is a marsh. This is a marshy land. Here you find grasses. Don't come across trees there. Right? Now another thing. See here, this one is a marshy land, marsh. But when you come to this one, see here, this is swamp. See here, marsh, swamp. Both are wetland only. A pitland is different. We'll be covering in the classroom. Pitland is a very, very important ecosystem made of pit. The special soil is the pit. Dead, decayed vegetation. Yes, that's what called a pit. They're also very important wetland. What is something called wetland? That will cover that. But why I've asked you this question? I thought in geography you would know, because there the teacher covers marsh, swamp, bog. Those examples come. Just like Gulf, Bay, all these names comes there. Creek, creek. All these words are there. They have some kind of a basic difference. When you study physical geography, there you will come across. Similarly, like when I will be talking about climate change, we'll discuss about glaciers. No, glaciers, melting of glaciers. So you know that G.C. Leong, you know the book, Oxford publication. You have a chapter on landforms by glaciers. Even you have a chapter on coral reefs. So those concepts of geography you have to connect with environment, because nowadays they are asking applied area, you know, connecting with geography. Geography को environment के साथ mix करके पूछ रहे हैं, तो आपको वो knowledge को यहाँ connect करना होगा, right? We'll be covering that, don't worry. So let's go into the topic here. So this part which I've covered here. So we'll do one thing. Handout part I will come sometimes later. Let me start with the basic ecology part. We'll start from very fundamental level and then build up the advanced level, right? That is more better. Let's start from very scratch and then go to a advanced level one by one. And I will go in a sequential order. So let's understand here. When you say environment as a subject, let me first make you understand. Then I will connect with the handout here. See, today when you go to colleges, universities, you have an environmental studies. We say here, we have environmental studies, or we will find here environmental science. Many of the university they offer postgraduate degree, you know, PG, environmental science. Like for example, University of Delhi, they have got a MSc in environmental science. But at the same time, there are universities which offer MA in environmental studies. Even IGNU, Indira Gandhi National University, it has got MA in environmental studies. Both are environmental. You'll never come across ecological science as a academic discipline. What I'm writing here, this is an academic discipline subject, just like, you know, botany, zoology, geography, right? Physics, chemistry, we have a subject. This is academic discipline, subject is there. Ecology is a part of it. We don't have a separate subject called, you know, when you say ecological studies or ecological science, we use the word, but separate subject is not like, you know, botany and zoology. We don't have it like that. Ecology, when you talk about here, that is a part of this subject. Within environmental science, we study ecology, is one of the part of it, right? Now, when you say ecology, it is, you know, derived from life sciences. It has come from biology. Ecology subject has not come from geography or geology. It has come from biology, right? Even today, botany, if somebody studies BSc botany or MSc botany or zoology, they will also have a, you know, one subject, one semester they will have a subject on ecology. You know, even today forestry, when you go to forest, they'll teach about the forest ecology, but something called forest ecology, about the forest there, right? But I'll come to basic difference here. See, when you talk about environment, so everything is environment. What is environment? Something which surround. So whenever we use the word environment, we include everything. Everything is part of environment, right? So here, when we talk about, we have both biological, biotic, and we also take abiotic components. Correct? See, whenever we use the word environment, that is coming from a French word called environner. That includes everything. Everything is part of environment. But when we come to ecology, ecology is the connecting point. It connects biotic with abiotic. समझ में आ रहा है? Environment is a general word, which everything is environment. Soil, water, air, light, you know, plants, animals, everything is environment. What is environment? Something which surround a living organism. But when we use the word ecology, so ecology here means is a, you all know that, it's called interaction and interdependence between biotic and abiotic, between biotic component and abiotic component. biotic and abiotic components of environment. This all you know, that you have studied this. Read out there. What is the ecology? When you take the subject of ecology, what it is, it study about interaction, how they interact each other. And what is the main thing here? Survival. How a living organism survive, right? How a tree survive, how a man, we are also part of environment, how man survives. So that interaction to dependence, that is the key of the ecological studies, right? So this is a basic thing which whenever you take the subject, you'll always come across this kind of a thing here, right? So let me do one thing here. Dictate something, a paragraph, a starting paragraph, and then I'll connect with that. Is it clear here? And whatever I'm writing, please do write. I want that you should have sufficient notes with yourself so that the book can be eliminated. Whatever you cover in the classroom, and then update with current affairs, more and more current affairs. That's the only thing, right? So I'm starting from that basic level. Okay. So just write there. Environment, right there. Environment word has been derived from, right there. Environment word has been derived from French word. I repeat, environment word has been derived from French word. I'm writing the name here. French word, in inverted commas you write environner. Environner. ENVIRONNER has been derived from environner. French word environner, meaning now again in inverted commas you can write meaning surrounding. Meaning surrounding. French word environner, meaning surrounding. Give first stop there. Meaning surrounding. All right. Whereas the word ecology, whereas the word ecology has been derived from, the word ecology has been derived from Greek word, you know that, has been derived from Greek word oikology. I'm writing on the board also there. Oikology. OIKOLOGY has been derived from Greek word oikology. Now what you can do, after closing the inverted commas, in bracket you write oikos, give a single inverted comma, meaning house, and you know logos meaning what? Study. So logos meaning study. Just in bracket you write this. Derived from Greek word, I'll just move away from you. Ecology has been derived from Greek word oikology, bracket, oikos meaning house, and logos meaning study. Close the bracket. Thereby, right, close the bracket, thereby, THEREBY, thereby it is a scientific study, thereby it is a scientific study of habitat, HABITAT, habitats of living organism. It is a scientific study of habitats of living organisms. Habitats of living organisms. Now give full stop there. Now one more sentence, right? Habitats of living organism. Give full stop there. Ecology, right? Ecology is a scientific study. I repeat, same paragraph. Ecology is the scientific study of interactions. Ecology is the scientific study of the interactions and interdependence. Scientific study of interactions and interdependence between living organisms, interdependences between living organisms and their THEIR and their surroundings, between living organisms and their surroundings, right, and their surroundings. Now give full stop there, and their surroundings. Now what I'm coming here, now you can refer to the handout. Again I'll come to that. Now you can refer to the handout here. See, I will slowly build up everything one by one, step by step. right? And every day, whatever handout you will get, just attach with the class notes. Whatever I'll teach, then attach with it, so that it becomes a part of. Now see, so what I've done here, I've given this one, basic introduction. When you look at any textbook, we'll have a basic introduction. क्या मैंने यहाँ दिया हुआ है? ये चीज दिया, दो branches of science है. Understand? Two branches. What is it? They are foundation of human survival and sustainable development. Today, you see, our environment, when you say air, water, everything, and what is happening with the human development, we are affecting our environment, and changes in environment is affecting our life. Both the ways are happening. If air is getting polluted, who will be impacted? Humans. But who are the cause of the air pollution? Human itself. Vehicular pollution, factory, industry, power plants, all these are. Then what I've given, while environment refers to total surrounding. Getting the point? Physical, chemical, biological, social. We sometimes say social environment. That is again the environment comes. But when you say ecology is the scientific study of interactions between organisms and their environment, which I've mentioned there, right? I'll mention one person's name there, but I'm coming. The academic study of this field equips us with the conceptual clarity and all, and solving the present day problem, whatever the problems are there. Today we are facing with the problem of global warming, pollution, all those kind of, we try to seek out the solution. And you know why the exams ask question? Because it says that the future governance will be environmental governance. Whether we talk about energy or food or any kind of occupation like agriculture, everywhere environment comes. That was, this subject has become very important. And as you know that prelims exam is common for forest service. So now that's what the weightage of the questions has increased. They're asking more and more number of questions. So now if you look at here, so I've given here, what is academic importance of that? So what is academic importance? That this one, food chain, food web, pyramid. I will be teaching you that. I'll go to detailed part of it. The meaning of, and I'm very sure you have read all this in school days and all. Earlier you have read that. But we'll study from the exam point of view. Then sir, mutualism, parasitism. Mutualism, benefit each other. Parasitism, depend on host. Right? Like something called leech. These are leeches. They are what? Parasite. Malaria is a parasite, human parasite. But when you talk about lichen or lichen, algae and fungi, is a mutualism. Right? We'll study about those and how the question can be asked. Question will be based on examples. Like for example, commensalism. I will be teaching you that in the next class. Commensalism means where one get benefit, other is neutral. Neither benefited nor harmed. I'll give a very good example. On the well, well, huge well, will come across barnacle. There's something called barnacles. So who is getting benefited? Barnacle. Well is not of it. I'll give you another example. There's one type of fish called remora. Remora fish. It's attached on the body of shark. Shark, that is a carnivorous shark. On that you will find there will be fishes called remora. So who is getting benefited? Remora is getting benefited. Shark is neutral. That is called commensalism. कई बार आपने ये भी नोट किया होगा, cattle, cow and buffalo. On the top of the cattle you will find a bird. एक bird आता है, egret बोलते हैं. Cattle egret will be perching on the top of the cattle. Now as the cattle walk, it disturbs the soil. Worm will come out. This bird will just go eat the worm, come back. So who is getting benefited? The bird is getting benefited, not the cattle. So that is called commensalism. So all those things we'll study in the classroom. So I've just given here natural balance, then foundation for management. Like we'll study in the classroom about Project Tiger, Project Lion, and you all know that India is the only home of Asiatic lion. We'll also study about very important thing, how this subject will be very, very important. Where? Project Cheetah, African cheetah. We have relocated cheetah from Africa to India, Namibia, then South Africa to India. Kuno, Madhya Pradesh, Kuno National Park. There also ecological concept will come. What is ecological concept? We'll study in the classroom a very important concept called niche or niche. Niche. What is niche? Every organism has its own kind of functional space. Now this African cheetah has created its niche. Where? Kuno. Where there are leopard also there. Same area can be leopard, tiger. But cheetah will create its own kind of habitat, its function. And you know the cheetah is a faster running animal. Great there, right? So those concept of niche, when it's an ecological niche, you should know that what is the meaning of niche. We'll also study a concept called Gauss law. Two species with same niche cannot survive. Why they cannot survive? Two species on the same niche cannot survive. Why? There will be competition of the resource, and one will compete with the other. This is called competition exclusion principle, what we call Gauss law. I'm going to teach you all that, right? We'll study that one. See here, linkages with other discipline. I mentioned botany, zoology, ecology is taught. Even geographical part also will come there, right? How the geography will come? Like, you know, the conservation. When we talk about wildlife conservation, there's a project Tiger. So what we declare? Tiger reserves. We declare tiger reserves, right? Those kind of, then sociology. How the sociology comes? Can anyone give me example? How environment ecology is linked with sociology subject? Any one example you can think. Correct. See, nowadays what is happening? Man-animal conflict is now getting more and more severe. And we are having conflict with the elephants, southern part of the country. Then, you know, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. Again, we are having with leopards, tiger. Leopard you will find in Maharashtra. I remember Borivali. In Borivali in Mumbai, Mumbai suburban, there is Sanjay Gandhi National Park. So we will find leopard there. And I remember this place called, there is a RA colony and the next is the Powai. So sometimes this leopard comes to the Powai site, IIT Bombay campus. Right? We used to be given the warning that in the night time you should always go in a group. If you are coming from the lab to the hostel, right? Always carry the torch light. IIT Bombay campus, there is a very big campus. So leopard is just Sanjay Gandhi National Park is next to that. And there used to be every day a report in the newspaper, leopard attack. Children, they used to take children and all this. Recently, you know, bhediya, right? Bhediya, not Barun Dhawan. It's 3 and not that Barun Dhawan. Bhediya, wolf. You know where? UP. Uttar Pradesh, there was a menace, wolf attack. You know, bhediya attack. All these are there. Nobody is from Odisha, right? But I'll tell you one very interesting thing, man-animal conflict. They will study in the class of Bhitarkanika. Bhitarkanika is again mangrove forest. You know, recently saltwater crocodile is attacking humans. There are many saltwater crocodiles, 900 plus. Conservation, government is conserving them. Now what these crocodiles are doing is coming out on the land. And sometimes, you know, paddy field, agriculture, human attack. So when you say man-animal conflict, is not with elephants. Are you getting my point? It can be many other animals. We'll be studying that one, sociology part. Achha, one more thing I would like to highlight in sociology, cultural aspect. Right? Can anyone give me one example? Any one example? Cultural aspect with environment. Tribal, right? Okay. Tribal there, all right. Okay. Persons from Karnataka. Let me ask. Huli Devaru. Yes. She will tell. What is Huli? Tiger. Devaru. God. Deity, you know, sometimes you cover deity. Gods and goddesses. You know where? Gauda, you know Gauda community? Gaudas of Western Ghats. Right? When you go to the Uttar Kannada, what is it called? UK. One UK is Uttarakhand. Another UK is Uttar Kannada. One more Uttar is Uttar Kashi, right? So Uttar Kannada, they will worship that tiger god. What do they have the belief? They have a customary belief that if something they do wrong in that forest, then the tiger will attack humans. So not let the tiger come to the village, they will do all the worship, puja, everything on that. Huli Devaru. Okay, I'll give you another example. Kabu. Any idea what is Kabu? This I'm talking about where the environment is connected with culture, religion, society. Is it sociology you study about that? Give me example. What is Kabu? Kabu is called, you know what? It's called sacred grove. You know, sacred forest. Pavitra Vana. It is a sacred forest. You know where? Kerala. In Kerala, it is called Kabu. You know, bunch of trees. You know, virgin tract of forest land. And Sarpa, you know, Sarpa, snake. You know, snakes, no? Snakes which live there in the forest. Forest has got the snakes, reptiles. So you will find they will have worship. Just like, you know, Nag Panchami, you know, Naga Panchami. You know, North, we celebrate Naga Panchami, Nag, Cobra and all this. Again, this is what? Societal? Society, no? Right? Then, you know this one. You all know this. People. Lord Buddha. You know, Lord Buddha, Bodh Gaya, is not a banyan. Right? Many people say banyan. It's not banyan. It is a people tree, where he got that enlightenment. Right? Siddhartha became Lord Buddha. People tree. Has a religious connotation, societal. Even banyan tree also has got, you know, what is a bargad. There's, you know, in Hinduism, the women, they have what? Savitri. What is what Savitri? Let's ask the women only. What is what Savitri? Saving the life of the husband from Yama. You know, Lord Yama, Yamraj. Say, apni pati ki life, and Savitri. Right? All these are there, na? So when you say sociology, what is sociology? Society, human. So we learn about those kind of things there. The environment becomes very integral part of the, and it's not one part. Even you go to Arunachal Pradesh, let me ask the person from Arunachal Pradesh, what do you say there? Forest, sacred forest? क्या बोलते हैं? कुछ नाम है वहाँ पर? क्या बोलते हैं? हाँ, your language, हाँ. Spelling, tell me spelling. NYO. Good, very good. See, एक दूसरे से सीखना. क्या पता? In UPSC exam, neuro. Everybody will say neuro. What is neuro? Right? It's a sacred forest. Achha, anybody from Rajasthan here? There, see, every state in their own language, like Kabu. Where is Kabu? Kerala. Every language has that word. Right? Rajasthan also, you know, what is Rajasthan called? Oran. This one, Oran. Is it Rajasthan? Oran. There goes sacred forest. See here, if you go to, you know, Bisnoy, you know, Bisnoy community. Salman Khan, right? वो भी लॉरेंस भी उसके पीछे पड़ा है, right? You know that Lawrence Black Buck. You know that Salman Khan. हम साथ है, Jodhpur, and then, you know, FIR against the big boss. He's a big boss, na? That big boss serial there. So all these are get connected. Oran. Where do you find Rajasthan? Clear there? So see, always remember that. Always look at examples. When you study the subject environment, look for examples. Where are the examples are there? Correct? Odisha, you will find their tribes. They also have sacred forest. We'll study in the classroom. So this is where I have given here. Economics. Now give me example of economics. How environment is connected with economics. Resources. Simple thing. This one. Water is a resource. Right? Food. Resource. This one. Timber. Coming from where? Trees and plant. These are all coming from where? From the nature. Today this one. Cotton. Silk. Cloth. Cotton tree. No, we say no, cotton tree. Silkworm. They all come from there. Today, remember that many of the things as a raw material, what we use, they all come from nature. And they have got a money value. Today we, you know, we sell in the market wood, furniture, house making. All this comes from there, right? So that is economics comes. Now see here, studies natural resource use, cost of pollution. You know, I'll give you a very good example. Carbon tax, green tax, economic thing, no? Nowadays, the debate is going on. European countries have put carbon tax on airlines coming to the Europe. They levy the charge. Now, it is debatable. Airline which is coming there, they're charging them carbon tax. They have to pay the tax for that. Now we can see sustainable development models. We'll study about something called sustainable development goals, SDG, right? Poverty eradication, employment, water, light, energy, right? Biodiversity, climate change, everything will come. 17 goals are there. Then I have given this one, EIA, governance, capacity, analysis, training part, disaster risk reduction. We always look for disaster risk reduction. Like for example, we know that in Uttarakhand or Himachal Pradesh, up in the Himalayas, the landscape is vulnerable and is prone to cloud burst. So we will make sure that we don't disturb that ecological area. Otherwise, project will suffer. That's what comes here. Disaster risk reduction. Now, relevance in contemporary time, I have given this one. Climate change, global warming. And what is very important? Government programs, government policies. We will study in the classroom about a very important initiative called NAPCC, National Action Plan on Climate Change. Anybody knows about this NAPCC? There are 8 missions are there, 8. Solar, water, agriculture, forest, sustainable habitat, Himalayan ecosystem. All these are part of it. So that policy comes, National Action Plan. Then biodiversity conservation, GIB, question has been asked in the exam, Great Indian Bustard. Where this bird is found? Is a bird, flying bird, Rajasthan. Right, Rajasthan, also in some part of Gujarat, but now it is only Rajasthan, critically endangered bird. And there is a national park called Desert National Park. Jaisalmer. I don't know how many of you visited Jaisalmer. The border area to Pakistan. Barmer, Jaisalmer. There we have this one. Then wetland, wetland loss. Today we are suffering this. Now, ecological study guide, management, wildlife corridor. Nowadays we look into that animal conflict, human-animal conflict, corridors. What is corridors? Their way should not have any kind of a blockage or any kind of human settlement. That part comes biodiversity registers. We'll study about this biodiversity register. We'll study laws in India, right? I will be teaching you Wildlife Protection Act, Biodiversity Act. There will come to register flora and fauna of a local area that get registered. What is something called BMC, Biodiversity Management Committee. We'll be covering that one. Then pollution, health, Delhi, that. अभी आपको पता है कि जैसे गवर्नमेंट चेंज हुआ, यमुना क्लीनिंग, यमुना रिवर, यमुना इज व्हाट, only Yamuna will look like a river in the rainy season. When you see on the ITO bridge, Yamuna is flowing there, right? People जो कि देखते हैं ना वहाँ पर तो पानी है, वही क्या होता है बाद में गंदा हो जाता है. अभी recently that a lot of debate has happened with the lakes in Bangalore. Bangalore, that. Bangalore is known for lake. There is Belandur Lake. मैं आपको झलक दिखाता हूँ. You understand झलक दिखलाना? बहुत अच्छा झलक है. You will love to see the photograph here. There is a lake called Belandur. It's in Bangalore city only. Bangalore is expanding very fast. Look at the photograph. ये है. सोचो गाड़ियां जा रही है, झाग ही झाग, froth. This is a chemical. These are chemicals. See here. All this chemical. I'll give you more interesting thing. You see. तो ये देखो कितना मजेदार है. Yeah, just like snowball. Right? Coming on the roadside. Right? That's a pollution now. Where the lake is polluted with chemicals coming from factories, and now it is happening this kind of problem. And recently what happened? There was a fire also in the lake. Imagine. पानी में आग. पानी से तो आग बुझाते हैं. ऐसे तो पानी पर आग लग गया. Right? Fire on the water. Right? Normally water is used for putting out fire. That is the scenario there. So all this comes into the governance part, which I have mentioned here. This comes into this governance part. Okay? Zoonotic disease, smog. We'll study about this. Chemical smog, the zoonotic. What is zoonotic? Zoonotic disease. Yeah, again, environment ecology comes here. Those diseases will spread from animals to humans. Let me give you a very good example. Nipah virus. Let me give a very good example. Nipah virus. Kerala. Fruit bat. Right? Fruit bat is the host. of the virus, deadly virus called Nipah virus. And you know why the Nipah virus is spread? Again, man and bat contact. क्या होता है केरला में शाम होते ही है ना रंगीन माहौल हो जाता है. There's something called टोडी. टोडी जैसे बोलते हैं ना देसी टोडी ताड़ी ताड़ी you know ताड़ी या टोडी. So all these men will with all this will go to toddy shop, and that toddy is from where? Date palm. You know palm tree, date palm. Alcohol, no? The local liquor, and all having toddy, and then hospital, taken to the hospital. Nipah virus. Where the Nipah virus is there? Fruit bat. So they will eat where? Fruits, those kind of trees, and the virus is there. Human consumption. Hospital, ICU. This is what is happening. Again, that connection, what is called zoonotic. No, sometimes you know gorilla, chimpanzee, Ebola, you know Ebola virus, right? Congo. Where is Congo? Ghana, Africa. All these are there. No? Even there is a one question mark raised, but it has not been proved whether this COVID-19 coronavirus is a zoonotic. No, because it came in the animal market in China. You know, China, they eat animals, pangolin, bat, सब कुछ खा जाते हैं. ठीक है. So you know which place was there? जहाँ first time outbreak of COVID was reported? Wuhan. And where was reported? They had an animal market where they sell the animal. Then the infection came to human. That was one theory. But WHO has not confirmed. One of the suspicion कि can COVID-19 be zoonotic? ठीक है. अब मैं एक दूसरा चीज बताता हूँ. जैसे जैसे हमारा डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है हम क्या कर रहे हैं फॉरेस्ट के नजदीक जा रहे हैं. वी आर गेटिंग क्लोज टू द फॉरेस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ माई आवर ओन ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट. नाउ व्हेन विल गो टू द नियर टू द फॉरेस्ट वी विल बिकम वेरी क्लोज टू सच काइंड ऑफ वाइल्ड एनिमल्स which carry the virus. So there will be more and more spread of virus to humans. It's truth. It's one of the research study. Zoonotic disease. Going to be true there. It's given sustainable development goals for study. Then ethics I have given, like you know Article 21. Very recently, government of Supreme Court of India, you know, right to life also include right to healthy environment. Now it's coming here. See here, Supreme Court's right to clean environment is part of Article 21. Ecological awareness, that's part of Gandhian sustainability comes into that. Gandhian principle. What is Gandhian principle? Right. What is this exam relevance? You can read by yours. What is a Gandhian principle? Non-violence. Ahimsa, right? Satyagraha. What is ahimsa means? Not to harm anybody. So when you talk about human, one is that we are not harming. But another thing comes about animals and plants. Right? That also comes there. And I'll give you about very good example. Satyagraha. You all know Chipko. Chipko movement. Right? Uttarakhand. Sri Sundarlal Bahuguna. And you know group of women. Then you know same thing was in South Karnataka there called Apico. Apico movement was there. These are again what? Environmental movement, anti-dam movement, save Silent Valley of Kerala. So that is based on Gandhian principle. What is it called? Ethics, environmental ethics. And you know GS4 paper, ethics paper is there. And you get case study. Some case studies are there. So they are asking environment question, environmental ethics. Right. So what you can do today, just go through this handout. We'll be going to the all discussion of that. Current affairs also I have given, like India's net zero path, heat wave, natural green hydrogen. We'll be covering that. And the last I have given certain questions I have given. Okay. So I know that now time is already up there. You have the class at what time? 11 o'clock? 1:30 is there, no? So then we can discuss that. So let's do one thing here. I'll just go to this current aspect of that. And let's discuss the question there. You have to connect current affairs with the topic one by one. Like here, you know that this one, COP29, Baku, climate finance and all. UPSC is asking question. Then India's net zero path, green hydrogen and all this. Heat wave, you know, what is heat wave? What we say in summer, hot air, number of deaths caused by the waves. No? Now what is happening? Every summer is having higher temperature than the previous summer. Right? It's getting more and more number of people are dying because of heat wave. Right? So the war 2025 was there, unprecedented. Now biodiversity is a very important. Kunming Montreal Global Biodiversity framework. I'll explain what is this framework. Governments have decided to protect 30% land and the ocean by, this is given here, by 2030. Then this is proposed there, not declared. So now he is from Namdhapa, sorry, Arunachal Pradesh. Is the Namdhapa nearby your home? Okay, so Namdhapa has been now proposed, but Tampara Lake is in Odisha, Ramsar site. Then you come to Asian Elephant Action Plan. Some wildlife action plan is there. Then I have given Delhi air pollution. They are given there. Then pollution. Now another thing, UN is trying to bring plastic convention treaty. Today, oceans have got garbage. Tons of garbage of plastics are floating mid of the ocean, Pacific, called Great Pacific Garbage. So now United Nations is bringing a treaty for that to control use of plastic. Like today, we know that many of the product we are using plastic. This is a plastic. Even this is also plastic. Many of the items which we have is made of plastics, right? Now there will be international treaty to control the use of plastics. That's what I've given. We'll go in detail part. Now see here, Ganga rejuvenation, Bihar, UP. Now what is STP? Abhi recently news mein tha. Sewage treatment plant. Abhi just kuch din pehle news mein tha. It was in the news there. Sewage, municipal sewage treatment plants in Patna, Bhagalpur. That how effective that sewage treatment plant. Then disaster management, that cyclone Remal 2024, Uttarakhand landslides, that landslides, Joshimath. There's a big problem there. Then diplomacy, ye bahut important hai. And I know that you are doing PSIR also. All are PSIR students. So again, the environment will come. No, any other subject apart from PSIR? Anybody in the classroom? Which subject? Sociology. Again, there will be some part of environment there, right? Sociology. Which one? Economics. There will be little one, but it will be part of. Any other subject? Huh? Only this one, PSIR. Which subject? Public administration. Not much. It will not come much there, right? Little bit, maybe Article 21, something can come there. Any other subject? Sociology, public ad, geography. Nobody is with geography optional. Okay. Anthropology. This is a popular one, no? Anthropology. Nobody anthropology. Okay, but in PSIR, you'll come across conventions. No, ma'am teach conventions, UN conventions. What is something called geopolitics, diplomacy. In environment also, like climate change, biodiversity. There are some kind of diplomatic things there, and climate negotiation. And India always take a center stage, right? On whom? Developing countries. So here I have given here India at UNFCCC, common but differentiated responsibility. Then we'll study this one, Solar Alliance. India and France. You know where it is the headquarters? This alliance is headquartered in Gurugram. There's a Delhi, then Gurugram is there, na? Haryana. Then Haryana, Gurugram, whenever there is a headquarter of this international initiative. We'll study about the solar technology promotion. India is taking the lead, right? Global lead. Then carbon market development. Again, we are doing all the trading part, carbon trading and all. Then ethics part I have given here, like Supreme Court right to life. Now this mission, PM Life Mission, Prime Minister Life Mission, lifestyle for environment. Now recently, Bihar government has got this roadmap, but you know that climate resilient roadmap is by many state government. What is that? Drought, drought, flood. I've just given one example, Bihar, but you know that many states which are suffering with climate change impacts, they are developing their own roadmap. Agriculture ko bachane ke liye, jo hai na, food and livelihood, that comes here. So here, this what I have given here. Just look at here the question here. Yeah, ek काम मैं कैसा करता हूँ. Take time, right? You have the handout. See, every class I will be giving you some this kind of a classroom assignment where you have to try by yourself to solve. It will take 5-10 minutes, but it will be able to give you more information. So just take 5 minutes time or 10 minutes, solve this question, then I'll give you the answer. And if anything you want to refer, you can refer the above content. The content which I've given on the top of the paper, you can refer that. आप एक बार try कीजिए, you just try it out. This type of questions will be in the exam, the nature of question. Done? What's your name? K. Kiran. Good name. Silchar. Silchar, right? Silchar. This kind of current oriented questions will be in the exam. Although I have not taught, but I will be going to such topics in future. तो कुछ भी आता है, whatever you know, just mark there. I'll give you the answer there. Whatever you know, you can just mark there. I'll give you the answer. But don't worry, I will discuss all these topics in detailed manner in the coming classes. We'll be going through all this framework, everything, just to give an idea. Today being the first class, just to give an idea what type of questions you can get in the UPSC prelims exam. This classroom exercise I'm doing for that reason. And every class will have exercise. But remember that in the classroom, coming class, next class, I will give you the questions on the topics covered in the class. There's 2 hours, whichever I'll cover, 2 hours and 2.5 hours. Based on that question will be there. Today is just an introduction class. I've just given some current affairs question. How much you know that? तो बहुत जरूरी है ना, डॉक्टर के पास जब कोई मरीज आता है तो पहले डॉक्टर को समझना होगा, तो होता है ना मरीज कैसा है. You know, I am a doctor here. You are coming to the doctors. The first time the doctor should know where the problems are there, right? Diagnose the problem. Then accordingly the doctor will give the medicine. So I'm doing the diagnosis today, where you stand today. Then accordingly my classes will be there. My classes will be a treatment. Get you to the correct option there, correct thing there, right? So see, that's a good analogy. Teacher being a doctor. That's what comes. मुझे अच्छे बच्चे मिल जाए ना तब तो बहुत मजा आता है. मुझे अच्छे स्टूडेंट्स मिलने पे है ना, फिर तो I can give you all the things there, and you all are there. That's a very good thing that you all have joined the class. That's a good thing there. See, वही होता है ना, एक होता है crowd, big crowd. Second है कि जहाँ where you have less crowd, right? And always remember that it's you who have to do the hard work, whichever institute you go. Whether you do self-study also. Sometimes people do the self-study, right? You have to, only one thing is required, the right approach. You have to be the right direction. That is required, right? Answer बताऊं? Okay. कौन बनेगा civil servant? KBC. So now you are on the hot seat, right? Hot seat, right? And lifeline, how many lifelines are there? 4. Now 3 they have done. Call a friend, and ask an expert, and then 50-50, and even the audience poll. So let's see that. So first question. Summit, this is a COP29 Baku last year, November, right? So focused on finalizing the operational details of global biodiversity framework. Correct or wrong? It's a climate change summit. It's not a biodiversity summit. मैंने बोला ना कि आप ऊपर के कंटेंट को रेफर करो. कुनमिंग, where the biodiversity framework was brought. If you see there, just go up in the page. See, I've given Kunming biodiversity framework. That is another summit. Now let me give you an idea here. Every convention, let's understand here, every convention will have its own COP. So for biodiversity, there is something called CBD, Convention on Biodiversity. And let me repeat again. Every treaty will have its own type of COP. Now, when it comes to biodiversity thing, there is a UN convention called Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD. We'll study in the classroom. Now, its COP was held in this Kunming. Kunming is in China. And the another word is Montreal. Where is Montreal? Canada. Right? So there was a summit. What is called summit? Conference. Right? So this Kunming Montreal summit, their government, see, India is a signatory to many treaties. Remember that India is something called member party to many treaties. We are also a member party of CBD. Question is asking about Baku. What is Baku here? Climate change summit. It's not a biodiversity summit. Here the government talks about climate change. Did you get my point? So this Kunming, this summit, which was held in China, came out with this global biodiversity framework, which what I said, 30% of land protection government should do, right? This is correct. Climate finance. What will they will talk in climate change summit? Climate finance. Who will give the finance? Developed countries to developing countries. This is also very correct. What is something called CBDR? I'll explain what is CBDR. Global warming is a common problem for all nations. Common here means same problem. If India is impacted by cyclone, then US is also impacted by tornado and hurricane. Right? Whether Trump doesn't understand another thing. Right? But even US is impacted by sea level rise. But Donald Trump is in denial mode. There is no climate change. He doesn't accept the climate change. But there is an impact on US also, Europe also. Heat wave. You know, heat wave. Many people in Europe, they are dying in heat wave. Obviously, you know, cold countries, you know, they are what? Cold countries. We are the tropical countries. We can, you know, experience high temperature. Summer, nahi hua to gamcha latka ke chal diye. You understand that gamcha, right? People go there. But in Europe, you know, all this fair, completely sensitive. Oh my God, Jesus. Right? This thing there. So they are also being impacted by heat wave. It's not that India. Australia, you know, bushfire. California, wildfire. All these are there. So problem is common. But what is another word here? Differentiated responsibility. What is differentiated? Action should not be the same by every government. Why? India is a developing country. India has its own type of need, population, poverty, employment. All these are there. US is a very developed nation, industrialized country. So they have their own kind of priority. Every country will fight climate change according to their priority. What is called differentiated responsibility. If you look at Bangladesh, so Bangladesh is where? There again, Bay of Bengal, sea level rise is there. So it will only cut down carbon emission according to their growth. So this is correct. This is a part of. The answer will be B, 2 and 3 only. You understood where the wrong thing is that? Baku is the climate change, not the biodiversity part. But you can say climate change also impact biodiversity. But what is the question here? Framework. What is the framework? No? Some kind of agreement. Getting the some kind of agreement. That's wrong. Clear here? That's what today I am diagnosing your disease, where the problems are there, so that I can do the correction there. Okay, let's move to the next one. With reference to carbon, Bharat Carbon Action. Now, Government of India has launched this carbon action. Now, here if you look at it, is India's first voluntary true. What is here? Those which reduce emission will be given certificate, which they can sell in the market. Right? There's something called buying and selling, just like, you know, share market. You have the capital market. So that part now see function under the Ministry of Environment, Forest, correct? And here aim to bring some clean technology, better technology. So here the answer is 1, 2, 3. All of this. D. See, sometimes UPSC question will be very simple. If you have basic idea, na, you can easily get the answer. So D will be the answer here. Now let's look at this question. This is another type of question you get in the UPSC exam. You know, protected areas, mapping, where they are located. So Namdhapa, you know that we have a friend here from Namdhapa, is correct. Tampara Lake is Odisha, is a Ramsar site. And again, Sakhya Sagar is also Ramsar site in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Yashwant Sagar, Sakhya Sagar, you know, I think it's near to Indore or Ujjain. This is Sakhya Sagar. It's a Ramsar site. What is the Ramsar site? Wetland of international importance. So this is all correct. His answer is all 3. And nowadays, you know, now UPSC is giving that elimination, not 1 and 2, 2 and 3, any 1, any 2, all 3, none. So you can see here, if you want to see here, I'll take you to this one. Look at here. This Sakhya Sagar is in Madhya Pradesh. Is a declared Ramsar site. Yashwant Sagar is another one. But you know which is the first Ramsar site of MP? First Ramsar site of MP, Madhya Pradesh, is in Bhopal. You know Bhopal? Bhoj Lake. You know Bhoj. It's named after legendary king Raja Bhoj. Bhoj Tal. That's the first one. But now MP has got 5 of them. So now see here, this Sakhya Sagar is a wetland here. Shivpuri mein hai. This one. MP. Tampara Lake is in Odisha. There is a declared Ramsar site. Namdhapa is a very famous one. Namdhapa is also tiger reserve. Arunachal Pradesh. Right? Pake, Namdhapa. And you can see here. And recently, you know, Madhav, I'll tell you this, Madhav National Park has been declared tiger reserve. It is recently 53rd tiger reserve. You know that Project Tiger, it comes into that. है ना, ये भी देखो आप है ना, known for shallow nutrient rich water, habitat for migratory birds and mugger, mugger crocodile, right? Designated wetland here 2022. And you know what type of question is this? Factual, direct question. This question is direct, no? Either you know or you don't know. You cannot do the guesswork here. Here all three are correct. ठीक है, तो ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आएंगे एग्जाम में. फिर ये एलिफेंट कंजर्वेशन और एनी वाइल्ड लाइफ कंजर्वेशन, राइट? समटाइम वी मे हैव a regional action plan, sometime global action plan. Like for elephant, regional initiative involved India, Nepal, Bhutan, because these all countries have got elephants operation here. ठीक है, फिर आप देखो planned focus establishing cross border. Now see, remember that if you look at African elephants, Africa, the herd of elephants can go from one country of Africa to another. They can migrate, no? They are migratory animals. Same with Asia, India to Nepal, Bhutan, Nepal, Bhutan is northern side. So maybe the group of elephant from, let's say, I'll give you one very good example, Terai, let's say Uttar Pradesh. You go to a place called Lakhimpur. There's a place called Lakhimpur Kheri. There is a one very famous called Dudhwa National Park. It can go to Nepal side, then come back again, migration. Bangladesh, how it can happen? From Meghalaya. No, Meghalaya, Bangladesh is there. Even Tripura, I'll give a very good example. Tripura, Agartala is again surrounding Bangladesh. There can be movement of elephants. Correct? So this is correct there. Now see, a cross-border ecological, it has been launched, framework convention, yes, right. There's another conventional study, particular Bond Convention, migratory species. An elephant is a migratory animal. It migrates, right? Terrestrial animal. So here the answer will be all of them. D will be answer. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now coming to question 5. Heat wave. IMD defines heat wave condition when maximum temperature exceeds 40 degrees, correct? When continuously, 4-5 days, higher temperature. Then you can see the another heat wave frequency India has shown a decline, wrong. Is increasing now. Every year we are getting more severe. Third, climate change has increased both intensity, correct? The answer is 1 and 3 only. B for Bombay. घट नहीं रहा है, बढ़ रहा है. Global warming increase होता जा रहा है. Then coming to question number 6, the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. So first is correct, goal of protecting 30%, global land and ocean by 30. Now see here, replaces the earlier, very good, very important one, Aichi, this is also correct. See, before it was Aichi targets, 20 targets were there. We'll study in the classroom there. 2011, this target was, let me mark here. This target were 2011 to 2020. Now this same target has been replaced with this global biodiversity framework. इसका नाम आईची क्यों रखा मैं बताता हूँ. जापान में समिट हुआ था, कॉन्फ्रेंस, नागोया. स्टडी इन द क्लासरूम, समथिंग कॉल्ड नागोया समिट 2010. COP was there. That time government brought Aichi target, 20 targets were there, right there. There were 20 targets were there for the governments. So after 2020, it has been now changed into this one, global biodiversity framework. You know what UN does? Something is better than nothing. They carry forward, right, for next 10 years or 15 years. Then what will happen after 10-15 years? Government will reach some target. They'll achieve some targets. Then again they will build upon next target. And one more thing you should remember, that such targets are not legally binding. Remember that? See, when targets are legally binding, remember that. When targets are legally binding, then the government compulsorily has to do. But since there is no bindingness, are you able to understand? There is no bindingness. It leaves over to the government. So then, implementation will be poor. Are you able to understand? When the bindingness will not be there, the government will not be serious. Right? That is where they comes here. They are not likely binding. Now see here, India has committed to phasing out all single-use plastic by 2025. Under the framework, this is correct there. We have decided. You know why plastic comes here? Plastic comes here because plastic is affecting biodiversity. River is getting choking with plastic, dumping. And from river it is going to ocean, right? Sometimes even the land animals, they also, you have seen the cows and buffaloes, that polythene, they eat. So that also comes here. So answer will be here, this one, 1, 2, 3. Right? All of these are correct. Now let's come to the next question. Question 7. Okay, we'll study this one also, but let me tell you here. The moment the Minamata name comes, mercury, mercury poisoning, Japan. We'll study in tomorrow's class. Tomorrow I am going to teach you a topic called biomagnification, food chain. If something enters the food chain, what happens is concentration increases. So now UN has come out with a treaty called Minamata Convention to control use of mercury. आज हम लोग है ना बहुत सारे प्रोडक्ट में mercury यूज करते हैं. You know that you know the thermometer, medical device. Then you know BP measurement. You have seen that sphygmomanometer, barometer. So what is the decision now? The government want to remove mercury from many products. So it is correct here. If you see here, this part is correct. Mercury. Now this word basal is on hazardous waste is also correct. You know electronic waste, e-waste. Many of the hazardous chemicals, they are controlled. This is also correct. And Stockholm, when it comes here, this persistent organic pollutant is also correct. Particularly, chemical pesticides. We'll study all this one. In the classroom, I am going to cover this kind of convention. Chemical pesticides. Today we have so many pesticides we use. DDT, we have banned. मैं कल क्लास में बताऊंगा एंडोसल्फान के बारे में. When we study biomagnification, there is one issue regarding endosulfan. It's a chemical pesticide. And there has been problem in Kerala and Karnataka. Kerala, you know where? There's a place called Kasargod. Kasargod, the problem of endosulfan. Right? That part has a. So this is also correct. So answer will be this one. All these conventions are correct. Okay? We'll study that. Don't worry. I'm just trying to see how much you know. Whether you are aware of these names? No? Okay, don't worry. Don't worry. I am going to help you out. आज तो पहला क्लास है ना, चिंता नहीं करना है. I'm going to help you out. All right. So answer is all of them. Right. Now let's look at question 8. Marine pollution treaties. This aims to regulate plastic waste. Correct. And legally binding and expected to finalize by to the. This word legally binding is wrong. It's not a legally binding. Right. Governments are still debating whether it can be made legally binding. Because legally binding means 100% the plastic will be removed. But that will have a problem with number of products. Today we don't have substitute. We're using many plastic goods. The government need to take time to find out substitute. Right? So here the India has opposed it on the ground of CBDR principle. That's correct. What is CBDR? That okay, plastic we have to phase out. Problem. But we cannot outrightly do it the same way what developed nation can do. We have to find out substitute. So it's correct. So answer is 1 and 3. C as an answer, right? Answer is 1 and 3. Now coming to question. Indus Solar Alliance. Wrong. Gurugram. I've just said. There's something called Gwal Pahadi. And there's an institute called, I'll write there. There's an institute called National Institute of Solar Energy. That's under Central Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, MNRE. This is called as a National Institute of Solar Energy. National Institute of Solar Energy. Now I'll also write the name of the ministry. It comes under Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. MNRE, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. We have a separate ministry there. So this is UN treaty is all right, but what is wrong is the location. Headquarters. Now membership is limited only to tropical. Okay. Now what I would like to bring here. This was started for tropical country. Why tropical countries? Abundant sunlight. But I'll just do one thing here. Since options are not given, but recently it has been open to all countries. Did you get that? Recently, government decided to open to all countries, but initially started with the tropical countries. Now I'll write a thing here. This was brought in COP21, Conference of Parties 21, 2015. When the climate change summit was in the 2015, it's called COP21, and France was the country host. India and the France together they brought. Now 2024 is also across there. That part is correct. So answer will be here 2 and 3. अब समझ में आ रही है? ये शुरुआत में ट्रॉपिकल कंट्री के लिए खुला हुआ था. अभी गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया है, ग्लोबल कर दिया है, सभी कंट्रीज ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं, all countries can become members. It is now open to that. But why tropical countries given importance? Because of sunlight. They can use solar technology, solar power, rooftop solar panel, solar park, all this can be there. So here will be the 2 and 3. So you can understand how the questions can be asked in the exam. Clear? So I'm coming to the last question here. Now question 10 here, look at here. This ecological concept I have given. Ecological success refers to natural process. Have you heard, have you studied all this one in your anywhere earlier self-study, or you have seen any class, you have done that? Okay. Those who have done, they will be aware of it. Those who are not aware, I am going to teach you this concept of age effect, ecological succession will study. But let me make you understand here. This is correct. What is ecological succession? We'll study in the classroom. Over the time interval, slowly new ecosystem develops. I'll give you a good example. Barren land, where there is no tree, no vegetation. After hundreds of years, forest will come. You understand? There is nothing. Right now there is nothing, barren land. No tree, no plant. But after 200, 300 years, same land become forest land. That is called succession. Right? I'll give you another example, very good example. Volcanic, volcanic eruption, lava. Lava will cool down, solidified, lava soil, and then again plants will come, animals will come. This is called succession. So that is, we'll study in the classroom. Now when you say carrying capacity, sustainable development, every resource has a limit. Every resource has a limit. Let's say soil. Soil has a nutrient. If you do too much of farming, what will happen? Too much of soil. Soil will lose the fertility. Fertility of the soil will be lost. Water has a carrying capacity. And what is very important? If we keep within the limit, it will be available for our next generation. What is sustainability? Present generation, future generation. Right? Intergenerational thing. So here carrying capacity denotes the maximum population size that ecosystem can sustain its growth. Now what is happening with our earth is going beyond that carrying capacity. Population of humans. And we all need resources. Right? So age effect. Now this I'll teach you with a concept called here ecotone. हम लोग क्लास में पढ़ेंगे कॉन्सेप्ट है इकोटोन. क्या होता है इकोटोन? बाउंड्री बिटवीन ट्रांजिशन एरिया. What is something called transition area between two ecosystem. Transition zone between two ecosystems. We'll study in the classroom. Tomorrow I am going to discuss this one in the classroom. That is called ecotone. क्या होता है इकोटोन में? एज इफेक्ट होता है. What ecotone has got? Age effect. What is age effect? That there will be more biodiversity at the boundary. Are you getting that? What is age effect means? Suppose करो, मैं draw कर देता हूँ. Suppose this is one, this is another ecosystem. Ecosystem 1 and 2. Now this is ecotone. Overlap, merge. Right? Let's take a very good example, mangrove forest. Where is mangrove? Land and water. Right? Sundarban Delta. So what is saying that associated with greater species diversity at the boundaries of two ecosystem. Saying that boundaries में ज़्यादा diversity होगा या अंदर ज़्यादा होगा. हाँ तो नहीं, तो ये स्टेटमेंट सही है गलत है? ट्रू और रॉन्ग? Did you get my point? What I am asking that? When you say age effect, is it that the effect on the age or within the ecosystem? Within the ecotone. Where the more diversity of species will be there? Inside that area or on the boundary of that area? See, remember that this is the ecotone. What is it? This is ecotone. This is ecotone. It will be on the boundary or within there? Boundary. What about inside? Biodiversity. Let's say mangrove forest. When you go to the mangrove forest, will there be more species inside the mangrove forest or on the boundary of the mangrove forest? Boundary of the mangrove forest. Huh? No, you should be confident about that. You should be confident that. What is age effect? This is a very, very important concept. Let me highlight that. See what is saying? Age effect is associated with greater species diversity at the boundaries of two ecosystem. We're saying boundary पे ज़्यादा होगा क्योंकि there the two ecosystems force act on that. Is the correct one. That is it. But at the same time, what I'm saying, but at the same time, there will also be biodiversity inside also. What is inside? The entire ecosystem. What is mangrove? Mangrove is a species, no? Which is found in that area. Correct? So here you will get the answer here 1, 2, and 3. This part. D as an. Right? Now what I've done here, D as an answer here. 1, 2, 3. Now if you look at here, I've given you one mains question here. Examine the role of India in shaping global environmental diplomacy through initiatives such as International Solar Alliance, Bharat Carbon Exchange. Let's say, in UPSC mains exam 250 words or 150 words. So here you have some kind of model answer I have given. That you have to start with introduction, IBC, introduction, body, conclusion. First you start about climate change initiative by India, then talk about International Solar Alliance, then talk about this Bharat Carbon Exchange, trading platform by Government of India, and then challenges, high financial need, dependency on foreign technology, right? All these are, and then conclusion, how it can help in future. ये मैंने एक normal understanding के लिए दिया है, ठीक है? But don't worry, today being the first class, I'm just trying to help you understand the subject. Tomorrow we will be going to all this basic concept. मतलब अभी ये ट्रेलर है, असली पिक्चर बाकी है दोस्त. Understand that? Real picture कल से start होगा. From tomorrow onward, the actual movie will start. This just to have a warm up. Okay. You know Hindi? She understood Hindi there. No, that's what she smiled, no? Good question. Right. Yeah. Tell me, which state I belong? He has asked the question, I belong to which state? Any guess? Huh? Not from Delhi. Yeah, I stayed in Delhi. I'm staying even today in Delhi for my family is in Delhi only for a long time. Uttarakhand, because I have different looks now. And again, I'll tell you that day for yesterday only I dyed my this right. That is all white. And now I'm looking young. If you have seen my old photograph, you will know that. So मुझे लगा कि पहला क्लास है थोड़ा सच धज के आना चाहिए. राइट, ये मेरे काले नहीं है, सफेद है. राइट. अभी क्या होता है ना, as you grow older ना, you have more desire to become younger. Right? Right. So that's what I thought, like, let's get there. So reduce my age by -10, right? So that people can understand. Okay, see, originally my native, if you look at, is from the Maharashtra, but my parents are in Jharkhand. Right? There's a place called Devghar. Devghar is a religious place also. Right? Badnath Dham, it is called Badnath Dham there. Right? Now there's an airport also there, international airport also. Just 2 days back I came from there. Right? And but I've been going around everywhere. My family is here only. Right? My family stay here only. Right? My children, my family, they are here only. But parental, that Jharkhand, that's what I've mentioned that. But then that those who come to a new place, what happened after migration? Their children, their upbringing. Now for my children, they will never be part of that. They will be Delhiites only. Right? Same here, if somebody migrate to Hyderabad or let's say Mumbai or Bangalore, they adopt the local culture, the language. If somebody has gone to Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, they will learn the Telugu language. Right? And I always believe that wherever one goes and live there, should always respect the culture of that place. But there should not be politicization of that kind of thing there. Right? If you are in Maharashtra, you should know the Marathi. I am a strong believer of that, because there is a normal culture of the people that becomes a part of it. If you are in AP and Telangana, you should know the Telugu. Right? But let's say if you don't have, or that, you should not be discriminated. That is a bad thing, where the people start attacking. That is the wrong thing. अगर हो सकता है उनको नहीं आए तेलुगु और उस पर कन्नड़ा नहीं आ रहा है, अब पता चला उन पे अटैक कर रहा है, वो गलत बात है. वो रेस्पेक्ट सब लैंग्वेज का होना चाहिए. रेस्पेक्ट शुड बी फॉर एवरी लैंग्वेज, एवरी कल्चर. That's what I always believe, right? So you know that our society, our things are, and the kind of political structure we have, there are always conflicts. ठीक है, तो कोई चिंता करने की बात नहीं है. And don't worry about, see, my somebody asked that which medium this class will be done. It will be English medium, everything will be English. But yes, sometimes if I am using little bit of Hindi, right, that is only to just have a general understanding, right? But your medium of instruction is English language only. Okay? So I hope that you like this subject. You all comfortable? Ram, huh? He's a nice boy with good smile, right? Right, he's very good smile there also. All of you are very nice, and I believe that whatever efforts we are doing, that really gives us the result. Tomorrow I can say that with pride, that see, these are IS officer, IPS officer, and other thing there, right? It can be there. So don't worry, I am there for you, and we will cover everything.